The following is a presentation of Manatee Schools Television in association with TV production teachers and students.
Hello everyone and welcome in to another Manatee County's TV game of the week. Today we have the Manatee Hurricanes squaring off against the Palmetto Tigers. I'm Mason Best and I'll be doing your play-by-play, and with me is William Ailes and he'll be doing your color commentary.
Howdy guys. I think we have a great game in store for us here. Both very competitive teams, aggressive teams, and what we're looking here is to go out and have a nice, clean game, and get this wrapped up.
Absolutely. Looking for probably a high-scoring game on both sides, as both these teams have had pretty potent offenses throughout the year. You'll have Cooper Richardson on the mound for the Hurricanes today, and Hunter Wingate for the Tigers. So two starting pitchers have had a pretty big amount of success so far this year, and see if they can continue to build on it.
Yeah, and I think this is more than just a sort of regular any-day matchup for these two teams, right? There's clearly a rivalry. Sort of crosstown rivals across the river. Palmetto and Manatee, both schools with amazing athletic programs, amazing students on both sides, and they look to go out and put their best foot forward.
Yeah, looking to come out here with a win today, and I think worth noting, both the starting pitchers that both these teams are throwing are one is the Manatee pitcher is a junior, and the Palmetto pitcher is he's a senior. So both of them have a lot of experience. I can only assume they've been playing baseball for all their years of high school, and definitely have I can imagine, good command out there and looking to build on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have circled here on my little sheet. They're aces, right? They're the aces of the lineup. They are the guys who, the coach knows he can go to for, 5, 6, 7 really good, consistent innings, game in, game out. So, like I said, both coaches planning for a bit of a grudge match here, and I think it's important that you go out there and you play strong, fundamental baseball while remembering that this is one of those games that really matters, and it is about how much you want it.
Yeah, both these teams' starting pitchers, like you said, they're the aces of their staff. They're the guy you want out there in those big moments, and you're hoping they shine brighter than the moment.
Mason, if you're a coach, how does that sort of feel to have a guy that you can go to and rely on?
When it's your guy out there, it's like any major league team. You have your Shane McClanahan going out for the Rays. You have your starter, your ace going out there. You think you can get a win no matter how they pitch because you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the mark of a true ace, a true competitor, is a guy who can go out there and have a bad game and still be competitive, right? They know how to pitch poorly.
Exactly. Their bad games are giving up 2 runs in 5 innings.
Absolutely. As it looks like these coaches are meeting at the plate. They're going to talk with the umpires. They're talking before the game. We actually got a chance to talk to both coaches, and fantastically kind to us, so generous, and they're looking to go out here and have a good competitive game.
Yeah, nice clean ball game out here today. Hopefully, for me out here looking for something that's high scoring close or low scoring and close, pitch and duel out there. Whatever it be a close game.
Yeah, that being said, you can't deny the numbers, right? You can't twist those, and the numbers say that Manatee is the clear favorite heading into this game. Manatee is about a 660 team on the year, absolutely dominating their competition, especially in district and in this area. Palmetto has had some struggles. They're sitting around 200 as a team, and I think they're looking, with a 5-16 record, I think they're looking to go out here and prove people wrong. I think they have some doubters at this moment.
Still have a lot of potential. They've shown a lot of bright sides throughout the season, and they're looking to roll with that bright side and roll with that momentum into this game, and hopefully come out of here with a win.
Absolutely, and more than just a bright side, they've shown bright bats. Very, very competitive at bats for the Tigers, and they can catch you off guard when you're ready to sort of put a game away. Tigers just don't quit.
And that's what's huge as a team. If you have those guys that are going to go out there ready to battle, ready to work a 10-pitch at-bat, that's what makes a pitcher's life super hard out there. If you're out there working 10-pitch at-bats rather than 3-pitch groundouts.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're getting ready to have the national anthem and then first pitch.
We're going to take a look at the starting lineups for both teams.
After we look at the starting lineups here.
Brought to you by Lake Junction Digital Marketing. Leading off and playing second base is number 3, Blake Willis. Batting second, third baseman, number 8, Keaton Love. Batting third, playing center field, number 5, Chance Shawhawker. Batting fourth in right field, number 11, Landon Henderson. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 17, Chase Nye. Batting sixth in left field, number 16, Landon Stewart. Batting seventh at first base is number 14, Amir Simmons. Batting eighth at second base, number 7, Trey James. Batting ninth and catching is number 18, JT McWin. Pitching for the Tigers is number 20, Hunter Wingate. And the head coach for Palmetto, Mr. Corey DeHaan.
Now it looks like we're going to get into our national anthem as they introduce the team.
And now the starting lineup for your Manatee Hurricane.
You're up for 2 so far.
Leading off, playing center field, number 8, Jordan Roberts.
As we see Manatee's
Batting
lineup here.
second, designated hitter, number 5, Peyton Harlan. Batting third in left field, number 16, Nick Zuniga. Batting fourth, playing third base, number 4, Brian Rodriguez. Batting fifth, our first baseman, number 21, Andrew Hyman. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 6, Ashton Hovda. Batting seventh on the mound, number 7, Cooper Richardson. Batting eighth behind the dish, catching number 2, Gus Eiler. And batting ninth in right field, number 13, Gage Blanchard. Our second baseman tonight is number 1, Peyton Hovda. Head coach for the Hurricanes in his 5th season is Mr. Nolan Nyman. Our associate head coach is Michael Suki. The assistant coaches are Anthony DeChico, Travis Kenyon, and Scott Alicio. Our athletic director is Mr. Matt Bowling, and the principal of Manatee High School is Miss Shannon Fleming. And at this time, we ask that you all please rise and remove your caps, face center field for the American flag, and the playing of our national anthem.
And that looks to conclude our national anthem as we're going to get into some baseball here.
Hurricanes is brought to you by Conley Buick GMC.
Like we said earlier, games about to get underway here, and looking for that clean game. Is all the pregame stuff's out of the way now? It's time to play ball.
Absolutely. And as I look around me, I'm seeing some really packed bleachers. We talked about this game just means more, and I think that's evident. They clearly feel the pressure of this moment, and with Cooper Richardson at the mound, he's going to take his warm-up pitches, and then Blake Willis is going to get this game started off.
Yeah, we're gonna be in for a game here tonight, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. Regardless of how this goes, these are two massive competitors, and I think in moments like this, teams show up.
And that's what you want out of your players. Like I said earlier, you want your players to shine brighter than the moment out there.
Absolutely. We asked Manatee's coach for some sort of keys to the game, the things that he's telling his guys in that clubhouse. He's getting them fired up, and the things that he asked them to keep in mind. And the word I have underlined here is aggression. Manatee wants to play with aggression. They want to force you to make the errors. They're a massive stolen base threat. Don't let them on. Over the past 3 years, they've had over 120 stolen bases every single season. So an absolute threat once they're on the mound and a threat in the batter's box. So
yeah, their goal out there is to create some chaos. And usually when you're creating that kind of chaos out there, you're bound to score some runs.
Yeah, you can contrast that with Palmetto's sort of approach, right? They talked about being emotionally strong, taking quality team ABs, meaning, Manatee's going to try and wreak chaos. Palmetto's going to try and rein that chaos in.
As this one gets underway here, as we see Richardson getting set on the mound and Blake Willis stepping in the box for his first at bat of the night.
Willis, the lefty. Excuse me, the righty.
As this game is now underway here with a pitch that very far outside the zone on the first one.
He's a little wild out there. First pitch tends to happen.
Richardson set on the mound here in the 1-0 count. Willis grounds one through the gap of short and second. Almost a phenomenal diving grab out there by the shortstop, number 6. Just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Havda, being a junior, has some experience at his position, but that's a very, very hard ball to get, especially when it bounces up there in that sort of fringe between the clay and the grass.
Even if he comes up with that one, he's not getting Willis running down the line. That's just a great piece of hitting there by Willis.
Absolutely, and Willis, a stolen base threat, is going to look to keep that up in this game.
As we see Keaton Love coming to the plate here for his first at-bat of the night, the left-handed hitter. Richardson gets set and delivers. First pitch is upstairs.
And you can see Love working off that really, really quick fastball he's got going. He's got a bit of a 3-pitch arsenal, 2 breaking balls, and clearly that fastball that he's going to base everything off of tonight.
Count's going to go 1-1 here on a beautiful fastball in the outside corner.
Yeah, that's the sort of location and control that you're looking for out of the ace of your lineup, and if he can keep that up, he's going to have a great game out here.
That is a recipe for success out there. Pick off to first here. Willis slides back in safely.
And that's a really good pickoff move. I think it was Andy Pettit that said the best pickoff move is a balk, and you really do have to get on that edge to really succeed at being great at pickoff moves.
Got to tee to the line there a little bit. This count's going to go 2-1 here, because that ball looks like it was just up high.
And great calls so far on really close pitches.
That's what you're looking for in a game like this, though, a game of clean umpiring out there. Don't want to cost any teams any runs, as that ball is going to be popped in the air, flying back over the dugout.
And it just clips the production van. You hate to see it. Looks like we're going to have our very own Mr. Carl coming out to check on it. The ruling on the field is van is good.
And a foul ball.
And a foul ball. Who would have thought?
Another pickoff to first there by Richardson, and Willis slides back in safely.
Yeah, and frankly, 2 pickoff moves. I mean, he's got to steal here, right?
Count is 2-2 on Love at the plate. Richardson delivers. Big swing by Love, and that's going to be out number 1 on a swinging strike.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, a little surprised there that Willis didn't get the sign to steal. He's had some success, a lot of success with it so far this season. So, in that count, waiting for that strikeout, you're a little surprised.
As we see Chance Shophocker come to the plate here for the Tigers.
And I won't lie to you, folks, Mason might have needed a little pronunciation help on that one, but you know what? We roll with it. We keep it moving.
We figured out up here.
And I only shame him on the broadcast once.
First pitch is going to be outside there. Second pitch is going to be outside, but Willis is stealing on a great throw from the catcher. And Willis is going to be out on that one.
What a pick-off, or excuse me, what a pop time from that catcher. He was absolutely on his feet once the pitch arrived, and that's key, right, is that explosive movement from your catcher to get in position before the pitch even gets to the plate. And what an amazing throwdown. Willis, not a slow guy, sitting with 5 stolen bases on the year, leading the team.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw down there by Gus Alar
And
for
wow,
the Manatee catcher.
another amazing play by Havda, the senior there, Ashton Havda, who is a junior, excuse me, taking the ball from his little brother, Peyton Havda.
That was a great display there of fielding by the Hurricanes to come out of that inning. Out of that inning unscathed after giving up the leadoff hit. Throw down the runner. Excuse me. Beautiful throw down to get the runner, stealing second there, and another nice play to end the inning. Can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an absolutely surgical inning, we're going to call it, from Manatee there. They're going to hope to keep this up in the batting box. Yeah, absolutely, and I think that that sort of surgical defense has been the thing that keeps Manatee alive in so many of these really long games that they've been going through recently. You know, they've gone into extra innings, and it looks like 3 of their games this season, and you know, clean fielding is what keeps you alive. I mean, everybody knows the sort of cheesy defense wins championships, but it's not a joke. You know, that it really is true.
Yeah, if you're out there playing clean defense, throwing runners down, stealing second, then you're putting yourself in a great spot to win games. And now we get to see what Palmetto comes out here with.
Absolutely.
As we see Hunter Wingate on the mound for the Tigers, and he's going to be looking to do the same thing as Cooper Richardson for the Hurricanes. Get out there, throw strikes, and get ahead in counts.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we talked about with that fielding, what's so impressive about Manatee as a team is, I mean, their fielding percentages are absolutely off the charts. You know, for context, a very good fielding percentage would be anything sort of 800, 850 and above, and almost all of their players are sitting at 950 or above. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are day in, day out starters who are sitting at 1,000%, haven't made an error so far this season. And that's,
hopefully that announcer jinx doesn't come into play.
Yeah, you know, we have had some trouble in the past. But, you know, we'll see how we do. I've been working on my announcer jinxes, Mason.
Oh, that's a bold take over there.
You got to use them strategically. That's what I'm learning.
As we see Jordan Roberts hitting leadoff here for the Hurricanes today. Another right-handed hitter. See what he comes with here against Wingate. Wingate set on the mound for his first pitch of the night. To the plate. Gonna be strike one at the bottom of the zone.
And Wingate, as a pitcher, very, very similar to what we saw in that first inning in that first half inning out of Richardson. Works with that fastball in the upper 70s.
That's going to be a ball ripped out into the outfield by Richardson. Excuse me, by Richards.
And a good job by the center fielder there, Roberts, to track that one down. And like we talked about, I think the sort of a similar build for the pitcher there, where he works off that fastball in the upper 70s, and that's how he gets a lot of his success. Sort of combining that with a slider and what his coach calls a great pickoff move that he's been working on. So we'll look to see him make advantage of that if he gets a man on base.
Absolutely, as we now see Peyton Harlan coming into the box. As that first pitch is going to be a strike at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, and that looks like that little slider there really caught him. But once you see it, you tend to time it up a little better, and the next time might be a bit more dangerous.
God, I think he comes with the fastball here. That pitch is going to be fouled back by Harlan. Count's going to go 0-2. Wingate ahead in the count here, 0-2, looking for his first punch out of the night. Set on the mound, and he delivers to the plate. And that ball is going to be ripped into the outfield by Harlan.
Deep into left field and over the head of the left fielder.
That ball is going to get to the wall, and Harlan's going to get into second base safely.
And that is a very, very comfortable stand-up double for him there. Such amazing contact so far out of this Manatee team.
Great piece of hitting there by Harlan to just bloop that, well, not even bloop that ball. He hit that ball on a line out there to left field. Didn't even give the left fielder a chance to make a play on it.
Yeah, and I have to correct myself there, folks. That wasn't Zuniga in left field, that's Stewart. Yeah, you know, and Harlan, great numbers on the season. He's batting .237, but, you know, with that .263 slugging numbers, you know, you can see hard hit balls aren't uncommon for him.
As Zuniga comes to the plate here for the Hurricanes. First pitch down low by Wingate.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a bit more, I'll call it conservative pitching here after that ball was really, really roped. And, you know, even that first out of the inning, a very hard hit ball to his center fielder.
Hey, you know how it goes. If the ball's caught, it's an out, no matter if it's on the warning track or the infield.
Yeah, you know, I think, yeah, he's going to keep pitching him low. You know, obviously some fear with Zuniga, a very, very strong hitter in his own right. Sitting here with a, I didn't think I was reading that right, a 424 on base, which had slugging 466. You know, if he makes contact, it's definitely out of the infield.
Wingate delivers here. The first strike of this at bat, counts can go 2-1.
Yeah, and sort of those high slugging numbers usually lend themselves to an uppercut swing. So, you know, how would you sort of pitch around a guy who has such an uppercut?
You really got to be up at the top of that zone. I know it's a scary place to go, especially with a fastball, but I'd like to see him work the top of that zone on this pitch here.
Yeah, the issue is if he's working the ball on the top of the zone, it's really easy to elevate it.
As that pitch is going to be grounded back to the pitcher. Wingate fields, flips to first. He doesn't get the throw off.
And there's just no play there for him, and that's really tough. Now you have Zuniga, who is, you know, speedy in his own right, sitting on first. That's a threat.
Yeah, Zuniga moves the runner over, so now it's going to be runners on the corner for the Hurricanes. And what's amounting to be a possible very big inning here.
Yeah, Zuniga sitting with 16 stolen bases on the year so far. Surely he's looking to do it again. He's going to challenge this pickoff move.
Definitely think he's going to be ready to go as you have Brian Rodriguez coming into the box here for the Hurricanes. Wingate needs this one.
Yeah, this is one of those really pivotal at-bats.
Wingate picks off back to first. Looks like they're going to get him.
And that's exactly what his coach was talking about. That's that good pickoff move. Really, really sells it there. He almost, you know, until the very last second, looks like he's motioning to home.
Yeah, he just got Zuniga leaning. He was definitely going on that first pitch there, and Zuniga was leaning left, and Wingate caught him.
He manages to get him right on the elbow. That's a clean tag. So some of the credit goes to the pitcher, but a lot goes to that first baseman.
Perfect pickoff, great tag. He's going to be swinging strike one there.
Roberts going to step out of the box, collect himself. You know, I think after the guy gets picked off at first, it's easy to get two in your head. I think you need to calm it down and focus on that fundamental.
You got two down in the inning, so put a ball in play and you got a good chance of scoring your buddy on third.
Absolutely, and Roberts with a 431 on base. Walks a lot.
As that pitch is going to be down low, the count's going to go 1-1. That's one of those hardest things at a high school level, though, is that plate discipline. It's something you can try and teach, but can be very, very difficult at times, especially when guys are looking out there to go and hit the ball so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, at least in my opinion, the marker. So that's going to be a ball. Between,
just outside there. Count's going to go 2-1.
Yeah, it's going to be the marker between a good baseball player and a great baseball player, right? Anybody can go on a hot streak hitting, but that eye is something you develop over years and years, and Roberts is one of those guys that has it.
Roberts grounds one to third. Short, and it's just going to be botched by the shortstop there.
Yeah, and that's really tough. You know, it's easy to look at that. Excuse me, folks. It's easy to look at that and ask yourself, you know, how you don't make that play. But with the sun and the position it's in, it's really in his eyes. And you can see he just lost track of it and sort of put a glove up defensively.
It's a tough spot there. He put a glove up in a protect the face kind of way and was hoping the ball was going to get to him, and it just looks like it bounced right off his wrist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately for the Tigers, it's going to result in a 1-0 lead here for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, you know, I think the thing about the Hurricanes is they're going to punish any amount of error from this Palmetto team, and you know, it's pretty hard to be perfect.
As we see Andrew Hyman coming into the bat here for the Hurricanes. Runner on first, 2 down in the inning. As another great pickoff by Wingate there, and he's going to get the runner sliding back into first again. That's 2 in the first inning alone.
Amazing pickoffs, and those are the sort of things that can change the sort of the trajectory of a game if you have a move that's that elite. I think that's one of those times we talk about, Mason, about putting the team on your back.
Yeah, he caught Brian Rodriguez just leaning a little too much out there. Same way he caught Zuniga earlier, leaning just a little leaning a little too far left, and beautiful pickoff by Wingate.
Absolutely. I know what Manatee is going to be drilling next week.
That's huge though for the Tigers to come out of that inning only down 1-0.
Yeah, that could have
still very much in this game.
That could have easily gone the other way, especially for that sort of start of that Manatee lineup that loves to elevate the ball. And it looks like we have our field reporter here, Brooklyn. He's got short takeaways from the game.
Hey guys, I talked to Palmetto coach Corey DeHaan before the game. You could already see some fast pitches. That was the goal, to get ahead with the pitching. Got some first pitch strikes, make sure the defense keeps making routine plays, and for the team to keep supporting each other with a good attitude. Also talked to the starting pitcher for tonight, Hunter Wingate. He wants to pitch well. He needs to throw some fast pitches tonight, and he's had a fun senior season as well. The coach admitted Manatee's a good quality team. This has been a long rivalry for a long time, and they're well coached. They'll play hard, and it's a good rivalry between two teams and a tough challenge. Back to you guys.
Absolutely, couldn't put it any better myself. We are in for a game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Regardless of which way this goes, it's going to be fought tooth and nail. As it looks like Landon Henderson in the box for Palmetto with a huge uppercut swing. Interesting to see how he's going to pitch to him here.
As we see Richardson coming back out for his second inning of work. First pitch is going to be down low. Count's going to go 1-0.
Yeah, and we talked about guys who are a threat when they get a hold of the ball, and Henderson is absolutely very indicative of that. He's sitting at a 431 on base percentage, meaning he's got a very good eye, but he's also sitting at 600 slugging. So if he makes contact, that ball is absolutely elevated. And
that ball is going to be chopped in the middle of second and short, fielded by the shortstop, flips to first, and Henderson's looks like he beats that one out.
Yeah, and you can see, Havda calls off his brother quite a bit. They're going to be talking about that in the car ride home.
I don't know that either of them get him there.
Yeah, I think especially with, excuse me, I got to check which one. Peyton Havda, the second baseman, heading the opposite direction. It was the right call for Ashton to call him off.
Henderson was just moving way too quick down the line. Got out of the box really fast there.
Yeah, explosive speed from him.
As we see Chase Nye squaring around on the bunt for the first pitch of that at-bat.
Yeah, and that's something you saw both teams warming up in BP, which I thought was interesting, was throwing in some random bunts and just seeing how they could use those.
As he's going to ground one to third, going to flip to second, get one at second, flips to first. Safe there.
Safe there. Doesn't quite manage the double play.
Looks like he beat it out by a half step down the line.
Yeah, that's really cleanly fielded, but he was just hustling down that line, and there's not much you can do in a situation like that.
Great job by the Hurricanes third baseman, though, to almost turn 2 on that ball.
Yeah, Chase Nye, not a slow guy, and, I am a poet, and no, I did not know it. He's also a stolen base threat. So, again, we're going to be testing that pickoff move like this one right there. Doesn't quite manage to get him. I'm telling you, I can predict the future.
You might be able to see the future.
I can see the future, but only 5 seconds ahead. It's not that useful.
What's going to happen in this at-bat?
First pitch strike. Oh, nope.
As that ball's ripped into right field, caught by the Manatee right fielder.
First pitch strike, line out, potato.
That's one of those at-bats there that as a hitter you got to go back in the dugout and go, I just ripped a ball pretty hard out there in the right field. Not much I can do about that. He just hit it on a line to the fielder out there.
That's one of your favorite comments when you're talking about your precious Rays, Mason, is unluckiest hitters. They have the unluckiest hitters who make great contact, but sometimes there's nothing you can do.
If you're hitting 110-mile-an-hour lineouts, you go back in the dugout and go, what am I supposed to do? Another beautiful fielding play by Manatee out there.
Wow, just absolutely gold glove defense at almost every position we've seen. This has really been a fantastic, fantastic game.
That's 2 plays in that inning alone that Brian Rodriguez made there to what is really save a run. Because you're looking at runners on second and third and one down if he doesn't make both those plays.
Absolutely, and that changes the mentality of the pitcher as well. So knowing that you have those guys behind you who are ready there to support you it means the world for that pitcher, and it can help sort of calm you down. You know, I want to
That
take.
was a phenomenal piece of fielding there.
Yeah, I want to take this moment, you know, give a little shout out to some of our MSTV staff here. We have Landon out here tonight. I believe he's on camera, doing some pretty amazing work. I think you guys can see the camera work speaks for itself.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of time. It's not these guys' first time doing this, so a lot of respect for what they do.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this whole thing doesn't work without the students, right? They are the backbone of this MSTV crew, and you know, they're what makes MSTV special. They're what makes MSTV different, and what gives us, you know, new and unique perspectives to sort of approach what can be the same old game sometimes. Yeah, that's the Landon out there on the camera. Amazing work with the pitchers so far. Some beautiful shots.
Coming to play first baseman, number 21, Andrew Hyman.
As you see, Andrew Hyman coming back out here to what is a fresh count. Still his first at bat against Wingate, but he'll have a fresh count as his teammate got picked off at first to end the inning last inning. Always one of those fun rules in baseball where you could be in a 3-2 count and your teammate gets picked off and you get to go restart it out there.
Yeah, Hyman hitting .286 on the season. He is a senior, and you know, he's looking to go out there and play solid offensive baseball. I think that's been the key.
Wingate delivers his first pitch down low for the first pitch of the second inning here.
And Mason, you said something interesting to me the other day. You mentioned how a lot of them are using that same bat type. So, you know, high school hitters using that sort of BB core bat. But a lot of them using the same model. It's interesting to see, you know, how everybody can have the same tools but have such different products.
Baseball is one of those, such a weird sport where you and your teammate could go out there and you could both hit 95-mile-an-hour line drives into the outfield, and one of you could have a double, the other could have an out.
Yeah, you know, there's such an element of chance in baseball that really I feel like isn't in any of the other major sports.
And 2-1 count here as Wingate delivers to the plate. Pitch is going to be upstairs. It's going to be a ball. Count's going to go 3-1.
And you can tell Hyman forgive me, folks, Wingate, really works off of that fastball. That's when he's going to get a called strike.
Hyman trying to sell it there by going down the line. Count's going to go full.
Not quite happy. He's going to make Blue take his time now. He's going to step out of the box. He's going to adjust. And, you know, the idea is you make him think about that one. You let him know that you didn't like that call, but it looked, you know, decent from up here.
Wingate gets set on the mound for his full count pitch here. Delivers to the plate. That ball's going to be fouled back to the backstop by Hyman.
Yeah, and you can tell fouled straight back. You know, what does that mean, Mason, when guys are fouling balls straight directly back?
You're right on it. You're just off the top of the bat. Didn't get enough of the bat on it, but your timing's pretty good.
Yeah, so, you know, if you're the pitcher, if you're Wingate seeing that, you know you're not going to want to go back to that fastball. Going to hit him with a slider here.
Wingate delivers here again in the 3-2,
and the
he's going to get
strikes him out.
Beautiful slider there to get the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that's what your pitching coach is going to talk to you about so much with execution. That was execution right there.
Beautiful job there to come back from a 3-1 count to get the punch out there.
And I think that's the sign of a very mature pitcher, is a guy who feels comfortable when he's behind in counts, executing and punching him in the zone.
As we see Ashton Hovda grounding a ball into the gap between second and short. That's going to get into the outfield for his first hit of the night.
Maybe
first pitch ambush there.
Yeah, maybe his first hit of the night, but surely won't be his last. Hovda, I feel like a broken record over here, but I mean, all of this Manatee lineup with amazing, amazing offensive stats. Really, I got to be honest, it kind of breaks my brain a little.
As we see Cooper Richardson, the Manatee pitcher, coming into bat now, trying to provide himself his own offensive support.
Yeah, put the team on your back.
First pitch strike there from Wingate. Looked like on that inside corner.
And Richardson, you know, not as great of a batter as the rest of his team around him, but you know, this is all relative. He's still an amazing, amazing bat. He's with a great eye, especially.
Absolutely. And as we said earlier, that eye is such a hard thing to develop. Wingate delivers here as Hovda's breaking for second. That ball's going to get past the second baseman. Hovda bluffs to third. Luckily, the center fielder's there to back that one up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, that looked like a little bit of a sneaky move there by the second baseman. He sort of walks in front of him. He has to be careful because at some level that can be interference, but he sort of keeps him from breaking off to third.
As we still see Richardson in the box here in a 1-1 count.
Now with the man on second, he's going to have to be a bit more careful when he's receiving his signs. Surely Manatee, is such an experienced team, is going to be, yeah, look at that, second baseman giving signs. Excuse me, the man at second base.
That pitch is going to be upstairs. He called it perfectly, and Manatee's out there looking to get an advantage in any way they can.
Yeah, especially with this amazing angle we have here in the outfield, you can really see how he sort of leans down and tries to steal signs from him, and he'll relay those signs to his batter.
Wingate gets set here in the 2-1 with Hovda dancing out there at second. That pitch is going to be a strike on the bottom part of that zone there. Count's going to go 2-2.
Yeah, personally, that's always one of my favorite things to watch is what that man on second does, right? Sometimes they'll dance around, try and get the pitcher uncomfortable, try and get people to make some errors.
Try and distract him out there, maybe draw a balk.
Exactly, that's exactly it. And you can see, yeah, he does just that, right? That sort of dancing around scares him. He thinks he might break off to third, so Wingate is forced to step off.
Step off, call time, reset yourself out there as he gets set for this 2-2.
If this is the MLB, that's a pretty big moment, especially because they only have a certain number of disengagements.
As Hovda breaks for third, throw behind him.
And he's going to be called
safe, it looks like.
A very close play, and again, we talked about Wingate with that deceptive pickoff move. It's almost like he sells that first one being bad to try and surprise him with the second.
Yeah, Wingate almost had him there.
Yeah,
that was
very
a
close.
very, very close play there at second.
It's one of those moments where you just have to take the umpire's word for it because, no camera angle can really, at this level, show you.
2-2 count. Wingate's pitch is just low. Count's going to go full.
Yeah, and Wingate frustrated with that one. He's going to step off again. He's going to, relax and try and re-engage.
Gather himself, take a deep breath, and get set for his full count pitch here. Big pitch.
This is a big pitch for him. Only one out in the inning. Man on second, bottom of the second.
To the plate. And they're going to call Richardson on the swing. They're going to get him on the throw down to first. That's another fun baseball rule, a drop third strike.
Yeah, that is. I feel like baseball, I would say more than any other sport, has a lot of those really weird rules where baseball is fairly easy to pick up, but knowing all those weird little nuanced rules is kind of difficult. It takes some
what's
time.
even more fun about that too, though, is let's say the catcher drops the third strike and doesn't get the runner going to first, so the runner's safe at first. The pitcher still gets a strikeout on his stat sheet.
Really? That's interesting.
It's just a difference in the out in the game, which is huge, but little interesting stat fact there for you.
Leave it to the Rays fan to know about stat padding.
I wouldn't say it's stat padding. As we see Gus Alar coming in for his first step out of the night here for the Hurricanes. We still have Ashton Hovda out there on second, but 2 down in the inning now.
And Mason, not to get too distracted, but can we talk about this facility? An amazing field where they play at. Really beautiful and a beautiful night tonight. Absolutely beautiful, and the night is even better. Especially when you're watching a baseball game. Absolutely, that's going to be a ball low. Yeah, I think sort of this time of year and this time of night in Florida is always going to be gorgeous, but with these two teams playing, they really do make it better. Absolutely. Like we said, this is going to be a good one. As Wingate's going to even this count up here at 1-1. Yeah, Wingate battling through this at bat. This is a veteran at bat right here. Wingate set on the mound, waiting for Alar to get set. Now Wingate steps off. Yeah, it looks like they're going to adjust their signs. So, a lot of the you can't see it right now. It looks like the umpire is blocking it, but a lot of the catchers will change up how they're giving signs, especially when there's a man on second that they feel like is Wingate to the plate here, stealing signs from them. That's going to be called a ball. That's going to be called a ball. That's a close one. A lot of them will do things like they'll do chase the pinky or chase the 3, right, where they'll give a bunch of signs, but until they give that 3, you should just disregard all of it. Their next sign after that 3 is going to be the sign. Or,
yeah, you're just trying to toy with that runner
out
there.
Exactly. And
Wingate to the plate here, down low. Count's going to go 3-1 again.
And it's something, if I'm honest, that I miss from the professional level. You know, yes, that sort of pitch comm system that they have going in the majors speeds up the game, but it takes away from some of it, I think.
Takes a little some of that pitch stealing fun, and you still see some of the guys out there going with the old pitch calling ways.
Yeah, Houston had to ruin it for everybody, didn't they?
They ruined a lot of things in the league for everybody. 'Cause that's going to be a called strike there, and as we see Alar trying to sell that one, just like his teammate Hyman.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful there, especially as the catcher. He doesn't want to upset the umpire behind the plate, or he's going to see his strike zone shrinking tonight.
You see the count go full here as Wingate gets set on the mound. Full count, 2 down in the inning, runner on second. To the plate. Going to blow that fastball by him there, and that's going to put an end to that inning.
Absolutely a veteran AB from Wingate. Really, really impressive and consistent baseball we're seeing from him. And it looks like we're going to be able to go back to our field reporter here. Brooklyn, what do you have for us?
Yeah, you guys have been talking a lot about Andrew Hyman. Senior season. One play at a time. After the Manatee coach Nolan Neiman, he said the records don't matter. This is always a good matchup. The playoff atmosphere and the team that comes out will make the least amount of mistakes. They're going to use the same strategy all year: athleticism and speed, and produce our primary point.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right with that. Talking about that playoff atmosphere, that's what we're seeing here tonight in front of us. Is really important baseball. Is seeing as this game progresses, when do those pitchers start to get fatigued? Because these are long innings that we've seen so far. They have to be, a couple pitches in already heading into the third.
And I have to imagine that for both of these teams, they have amazing bullpens and amazing guys to back up their starters. So just because their starter comes down to the game, I can only imagine the guy following up is going to give you just as hard of an at-bat.
Absolutely. And, I mean, as Southeast students, right, we're not used to a very full baseball team, but, I mean, that is what both of these teams have going for them. It is absolutely jam-packed with talent.
As we see this top of the third inning getting ready to go underway here. As we see Richardson coming back out for a third inning of work.
As the lefty, Amir Simmons up to the plate. Now, tell me, Mason, why do we see so many left-handed first basemen? What's the benefit of that?
As a left-handed first baseman, ooh, that ball's going to be popped in the air. Looks like it's going right down in no man's land out there in the outfield, and the center fielder calls that one off and makes the play.
Absolutely, and that's a good play from Roberts, right? He's going to be that captain of the outfield, and in a team like this that has so much synergy and plays so well together, when that center fielder calls off the ball, you know that he has precedence. So, Mason, sorry, what were you saying about the first baseman?
As a left-handed first baseman, a lot of your first basemen are big power guys, and as a left-handed hitter, you just put weird at-bats on pitchers, as that ball is going to be grounded right into the gap there by JT Nugent.
Yeah, absolutely, and JT Wynn there is a very consistent guy for them with a very high batting average. Not a power guy per se, but known to just put the ball in play, and I think that's what you need at this level. Unfortunately, this Manatee defense is not going to give you any free bases. You're going to have to earn every single one.
Yeah, that was a great piece of hitting there, taking advantage of the shift and the big wide open hole on the right side of the infield. As we see Blake Willis coming up for his second at-bat of the night here. Had the good first hit, splitting the second baseman and shortstop to start the game, and see what he can do again. And a 2-0 count here. That pitch is going to be a called strike. Going to go 2-1 on Willis.
Looks like that's Shophocker in the back. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I did an incorrect correction.
As the Tigers have a man on first, 1 down in the inning here, and a 2-1 count with Willis at the plate. As you see Richardson calling time there, just giving himself a second to catch his breath and get set for this big pitch, this at-bat.
Yeah, now with his first baseman holding his man at first.
To the plate, and that's going to be a called strike. Count's going to go 2-2.
With his first baseman holding Nguyen there at first, he has more opportunities for pickoff moves and to sort of weird out that batter at the home plate.
Yeah, see if we get to see Richardson's pickoff move again here this inning. Because that's going to be a called strike, and Willis is going to go down on that one. Caught looking there.
Third baseman number 8, Keaton Love.
As we see Keaton Love coming in to bat here for the Tigers for his second at-bat of the night. Still got a runner at first and 2 down in the inning now.
Yeah, another lefty in this lefty-heavy lineup. And now it's his second time through.
Richardson to the plate. First pitch is going to be just outside there. Count's going to go 1-0.
Yeah, and it's Richardson's second time through the lineup, and that's going to affect the sort of pitches he chooses. Maybe he mixes in something new. Maybe he gives a new approach to the guys just to try and keep them guessing. You don't want to get predictable as a pitcher. That's the last thing you need.
Richardson to the plate there. Big swing by Love, and the count's going to go 1-1. He's going to pick off back to first there. Looks like he's going to be called safe on that one.
And Love, an everyday sort of starter with a formidable batting average. So this is going to be the guy that you want when you have a runner on base. This is the position.
He's the spark in that offense. As that ball's going to be skied into the air, just behind second base. Center fielder calling off the shortstop to make the play.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier, right? But Roberts is absolutely a captain out there, and when he wants that ball, you give it to him. You don't earn your spot as a center fielder not being able to take those pop-ups.
Great way to end the inning there on a pop-out or a pop-up can be a very tricky play out there at this high school level where it's all about communication. That's not an easy play if you've not worked on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a thing in all sports, right? All coaches are going to tell you to be vocal, right? They would rather you go out there and you're yelling and you're communicating too much than not enough. It's always better to over-communicate and over-prepare. And shout out for this little half inning is going to be Neelam Joshi of MSTV has been working with them for seems like more than a year now, and absolutely amazing camera woman, amazing director, and does stuff all around in the production here. We've seen some great shots from her tonight. She's sitting on one of these cams just to our right.
Absolutely, some phenomenal work so far, and like Will said earlier, the students are what makes this shoot go round, and phenomenal job so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you have MSTV without these guys coming out here and volunteering their time. Well, not all volunteering, but coming out here and sort of lending their skills and their talent to this sort of production.
As you see Wingate going out there for his third inning of work now, and he's looking to do what he did in that second inning, keep this Hurricane lineup quiet.
Got to be honest, Mason. The advertisements they have out there in the outfield, a little impressive. They're a bit formidable, what you're seeing. They get some big names.
Absolutely, just looking across them out there. They got some big names out there.
Now with number 13 Zuniga up to the plate. This is going to be another challenge for Wingate. Zuniga, amazing bat for this Manatee lineup, in a lineup that, frankly, you don't get much of a reprieve from.
As that ball is going to be popped into the air behind home plate. Going to be caught by the catcher, 1 down in the inning. It's a tough at-bat there by Blanchard.
Yeah, absolutely, and a good job to tear off the mask real quick.
Locate that ball that's up in the sky, and you can lose it in the sky sometimes, and definitely not an easy play.
Yeah, no, especially at this time of day, that sort of dusk light can really hide a ball from you.
Absolutely, that's the word I was looking for.
As we're back to the top of this lineup with Roberts up to bat.
First pitch is going to be a called strike at the bottom of the zone. Count's going to go 0-1.
Now, again, I think, one of these buzzwords in modern baseball is this uppercut swing, but it's something that you see guys.
As that ball is going to be shot into the gap. Oh, no, beautiful play out there by number 14 for Palmetto.
Amazing play, amazing play. And it looks like number 14.
Great play by Amir Simmons out there at first. I thought for sure that ball was going to get over his head, and he tracked it down perfectly and made a beautiful play on that ball.
Yeah, and that's why, somebody with a frame like Simmons is somebody that you want at first. Somebody with, I'm going to call it squid arms, right? That ability to sort of reach out and play goalie of sorts.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play there to what is save a double, if not a triple.
Absolutely. Bit of a no man's land there behind him as they're shifting over. Like I was saying, right, I think an uppercut swing is one of those buzzwords, but it is something that you see more and more, and it's especially interesting to me at the high school level. Guys are coming up, playing and hitting the ball their entire life with that style of swing. It's a double-edged sword. It means that if you do make contact, that contact's going to be very hard, but it can make it harder to make that contact in the first place. So you really do need to find what works for you.
And it's different for everybody. As Harlan shoots that ball into center field, caught by the Palmetto center fielder there to put an end to that inning. Very quick inning of work there for Wingate. As you mentioned last inning, the pitch count is starting to get up there, but that was a very quick inning of work.
Yeah, that kind of bought him a free inning there. And I think if you're Wingate, frankly, that makes you a little nervous that he got hit around that inning, and he was lucky to have amazing defensive plays there to help him out. But it looks like Manatee, in the second time through this lineup, is starting to time him up and sort of get the better of him.
Yeah, luckily for Palmetto, kept runners off bases and kept them off the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, that's all you can ask, because like we talked about, with those keys to the game, aggression and stolen bases are Manatee. They are the Hurricanes. So keeping them off base at all costs is what you're aiming for.
As we see Richardson coming back to the mound here.
Hey, headlights have to come off on the truck. The umpire just let us know we have to take headlights off. Also, we did give Nealon her shout out.
As we see Richardson's coming back to the mound for his fourth inning of work here. As we have Chance Schoppacher coming to the plate here for his second at-bat of the night. Richardson delivers to the plate in the 0-1. That ball is going to be grounded into the gap between second and first.
And it looks like...
And Peyton Hovda just couldn't come up with that one. Just split in between the wickets.
That's a really tough one, especially for a freshman second baseman. It's a hard play to make, but his team is obviously going to feel that one. This is a pivotal moment in this game, and in a grudge match like this, those matter a lot.
Yeah, just between the legs there on that one. As we have Landon Henderson coming up to bat here again for his second time tonight. That ball's going to be ripped out into center field on a line. That ball's going to get down. Now the Palmetto's going to have runners on the corners on a great base running there by Chance Schoppacher to move up from second to third on that ball.
Yeah, an amazing job by the third base coach there to tell him 3, 3, 3, 3. He knows the speed his guys have. I also thought it was interesting right before that pitch came out of Richardson's hand. You heard the Palmetto dugout telling him, just be simple here. Just something simple, right up the middle, keep it simple. And, Henderson obviously took those words to heart and got a hold of that one.
Yeah, blooped one right out there into the second base center field gap there and moved his buddy over to third. Now the Tigers got runners on the corners.
Yeah, no outs in this inning. Now Richardson has worked himself into some trouble. Let's see if he can work his way out. That is the mark, to me, I guess, like we talked about earlier, of a true ace, is how you deal with those tough situations, not how you are when nobody's on base.
As we have Chase Nye coming to bat here for his second at-bat of the night. And as we said, this is a lot of these hits. This is the second time to the lineup here for Richardson, just like it was for Wingate.
Yeah.
So starting to see a little bit of trouble for both pitchers.
Absolutely. They're starting to time him up, and he went for a pickoff move. Didn't quite work. So we get some picture-in-picture of the man on third.
1-0 count as Richardson delivers. Big swinging strike there by Nye. Count's going to go 1-1.
Yeah, and I think that that third base coach, you can see, unfortunately, just off frame there, is handing out a ton of signs. He knows his guys. He knows what they're capable of, and he knows how to time up a pitcher clearly very well.
As Nye scoots out of the box on that one, count's going to go 2-1.
Yeah, and going back once more to those keys to the game, Palmetto's coach talked about playing good team baseball, but also keeping emotions out of it. Clearly he knows his team has a tendency in these big moments to get overzealous. They're trying to crush the ball, and you can hear that dugout and the coach himself telling his guys, keep it simple, just make contact, force them to make the mistakes.
3-1 count here as Richardson gets set on the mound. To the plate. As that ball's going to be upstairs, the bases are going to be juiced now with nobody out for the Tigers. This inning is primed to be a very big inning here for the Tigers.
Yeah, an interesting choice. Looks like no mound visit, which...
Yeah, you're trusting your guy out there. Richardson and Jr. has plenty of experience out there, and he's your ace out there. Sometimes your ace just wants to deal with it himself for a little bit.
Yeah, frankly, some guys just don't like going out and having a mound visit. They feel like it placates them, and sometimes you just want the struggle.
As Landon Stewart comes to the plate here for the Tigers. First pitch is going to be upstairs there. Count's going to go 1-0.
Mason, you might know it good. I forgot who was it that said "embrace the suck." I remember that was a coach. I believe it was an NFL coach.
I remember Pete Fairbanks saying something about how he only sulks in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's all you can give yourself, right? You let yourself feel those emotions because you want the motivation, but you can't let yourself sit in it. You can't stew. And wow, with pitches
big
like
swing
that,
by Stewart.
With pitches like that, it looks like Richardson isn't sitting in much. He is getting fired up. Some guys, they
Stewart's looking to go 380 over that center field wall on that one.
Yeah, they give you an angry fastball, right? They're mad. They have men on.
Count's going to go 3-1 here.
And it's going to give them a couple more velo points there.
For sure. And now this pitch has become a huge pitch because you got nowhere to put him.
Absolutely. This is important. You can't walk him here.
3-1 pitch. Another big swing by Stewart. Count's going to go full.
And that's tough. That obviously he gets the sign to swing, but sometimes in those situations you can feel like you're almost putting on an auto swing. That pitch is upstairs, and he knows that he's bringing the count full. This is a pivotal moment.
Full count. Richardson delivers. That ball's going to be upstairs. Richardson's going to walk in the first run of the night for the Tigers. This is going to be a tie game now, 1-1.
Up and in on it, and frankly, Richardson's starting to look a little uncomfortable on the mound. You look, he goes hat, jersey, pants, hat, jersey, right? He's got a bit of a tick, and I think when you're stressed out in a moment like this, you have to calm yourself, collect yourself. And, I think...
As we see the Hurricanes catcher coming out there, a little meeting on the mound. Calm your guy down. Give him a second out there.
And not to say I called it, but it looks like that is sort of Richardson's preference, that he doesn't like mound visits because, only the catcher comes out there. He doesn't want his other guys around him. He just needs to know what's the next pitch. His catcher wants him to know that, he's still got it. He's still an ace. He's still got the stuff. So
the Tigers still have the bases loaded here with nobody out in this inning. Now with Amir Simmons coming to the plate. First pitch is going to be inside there. Count's going to go 1-0.
Yeah, and, you hear that coach saying, time and time again, he's telling his guys, just hit it up the middle. Your body will do the rest for you because he's got a lot of guys with, frankly, really big athletic builds. So he knows if they can just make contact, that ball is going to be hard hit plenty.
This is going to be strike one at the bottom of the zone. Count's going to be evened up at 1-1. Going to be strike two there.
And Richardson with amazing plays, Simmons so far with amazing plays in this game defensively. Let's see what he can do offensively as this is the payoff.
As that ball is going to be grounded foul down the third base line. And now we're seeing Richardson having to take a lot of pitches out of that windup, which is, for most pitchers, much more uncomfortable than the stretch.
Yeah, a lot of guys, they
got to get to the plate a little faster.
Yeah, I guess I can only speak for Southeast, but most of our guys have elite stuff from the stretch, but from the windup, but not so much from the stretch.
As Simmons is going to go down swinging there for the first out of the inning, the Tigers still have the bases loaded with 1 down in the inning here.
Yeah, now you're starting to get into the danger zone of this Palmetto lineup, and if they can start connecting, you have real problems.
As you have Trey James coming to the plate here. First pitch is going to be outside. Ball 1. Richardson set on the mound here. Delivers to the plate. Upstairs, count's going to go 2-0.
Trey James, the freshman's shortstop, this is a big moment for him, and it's important. I think that's why he gets a little extra coaching from his coaches at this moment, because it's important to not let your emotions overwhelm you.
This is a big spot in this game. So that's going to be strike 1 on the bottom outside corner of the zone there. Count's going to go 2-1. As that ball is going to be ripped out there into center field. That's scoring 1 run. And Palmetto's going to hold him and keep the bases loaded, but they take a 2-1 lead.
And man, Mason, what a cannon in center field to hold that to only 1 run. I mean, I thought when he made contact that was at least 2 coming through.
Great job to throw up the stop sign there by Palmetto and hold his guy at third to keep his bases loaded.
Yeah, and a great play there. And great base running by Henderson, who is, a tall guy, big guy, but very, very fast.
Yeah, great job there by Corey DeHaan to hold his runner there and keep these bases loaded. As we have JT coming in for a second at bat here. Still, like I said a couple batters ago, 1 down in this inning. Bases still loaded. Count's going to go 0-1.
And now we're starting to get into the danger zone. I think that Manatee has to start getting a little antsy. Nobody in the bullpen warming up as far as I can see.
As that ball is going to be grounded to third. Bobble, throw it home. Going to tag the runner out. 2 down in the inning now. But the bases are still going to be loaded for the Tigers.
Yeah, and that was a good play, though, I think. It gets Richardson some confidence. That was a routine play. He knows he can trust his his boys behind him.
Yeah, that was another great play there by Rodriguez, and we've seen him make multiple tonight. And on the fielding there, he slight bobble and still managed to get the out.
Yeah, and I think it's how you recover from those that really sets you apart. Good from great.
As you have Blake Willis coming in to bat, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, led off this inning.
I believe he did. This for Richardson, this is the inning that will never end. And again, we talked about how if you just keep seeing guys, eventually they're going to get you timed up, and it's going to lead to some danger, as we're seeing now.
As that ball is going to be popped in the air as it tails out of play. Count's going to go 0-2.
Yeah, and
the Tigers are still looking up to put a crooked number up this inning.
Yeah, Manatee in a increasingly tough situation here is going to have to rely on the amazing defense they've had all season.
Richardson gets set in the 0-2, delivers. And that pitch is going to be just inside. Ball 1, count's going to go 1-2.
And you can hear some chirping from that Manatee dugout. They wanted that one.
Catcher and pitcher tried to persuade that one there.
Gotta give it a try, right?
Richardson delivers here. That ball's going to be shot out into the outfield.
Over the head
and
of
it's going to clear
Roberts.
The center fielder of Roberts in center field. That's going to score 1 run, 2 runs,
Zuniga not
3
able to get
runs.
The throw.
They're sending him home. Willis slides in at home, and the catcher can't get a hold of the ball.
Wow.
That's going to be an inside the park home run.
What a play we just saw, folks. That was amazing. Great contact, but wow, what amazing base running. Check in on Roberts if he's okay out there. He took a big hit when he went for that slide.
Wow, what a hit there by Willis.
Unfortunately, it looks like Zuniga obviously rushed a bit, and the ball came out of his hands a little wonky. It got to Havda at short a little late, and he just wasn't able to hit his pickoff man the way he wanted.
And that was a great diving attempt out there by Jordan Roberts, and he almost got that ball. I don't know how he even got there.
And now
but the ball just got over his head, and Willis busting out of the box somehow then turned that into an inside the park home run. That is
we
impressive.
talked about it earlier. Willis leading the team in stolen bases. Obviously a speed demon out there, but wow. I mean, he was ripping around those bases. He wanted that.
And now talk about putting up a crooked number in the inning. The Tigers have put up 6.
Mason, is that an announcer's jinx he just did right there?
I might have.
That might have been it. That might have been our one for the night.
And I was accusing you of it early. Count's going to go 2-1 here.
I saw Goody Best with the devil.
With Keaton Love at the plate.
Now,
foul tip ball there. Count's going to go 2-2.
It's important after that play that Palmetto doesn't give up on this inning. I mean, frankly, with Richardson pitching the way he is, you can still juice some more runs out of this.
And Palmetto batters got to catch their breath like I got to catch my breath over here.
Yeah, seriously. Talking a million words per minute here.
As that pitch is going to be just inside, Count's going to go full.
I mean, man, is it illegal to get a drink of water in this game? Seems like something happens.
Apparently so. As that pitch is going to be fouled back out of play. Count's going to stay full.
And you know what's remarkable about this Palmetto team is, you know, they're relatively young. Yes, they have their sort of veteran seniors that are the anchors of the team, but so much young talent on Palmetto. You know they're going to be good.
And Keaton Love's going to flip a ball down the third base line.
Trailing.
Looks like it went out of play. Making a guess. Yes, it did.
Folks, you couldn't see, but from our angle, it just disappeared behind the dugout, and we crossed our fingers.
Making a guess and hoping I was right.
It's all you can do sometimes. I think, you know, obviously after that play, Zuniga is kicking himself, and he really wanted that one. You saw him sprinting out there.
Yeah, you're looking to put an end to this inning here and get back into the box. And that pitch is going to be upstairs. Keaton Love draws his first walk of the night.
And frankly, Mason, I really do hate to say it, but Richardson is starting to look a little rattled out there. He's pitching around the guys. He's scared to stay strong in the zone, and you know, that's what had given him so much success before, was that aggressive pitching style, aggression being that key word for the whole Manatee lineup.
2 down in the inning now. Runner on first, and Keaton Love as Richardson delivers to the plate. As we see Chance Shophawker coming in for his second at-bat of the inning here.
Yeah, I think you should say that one again. Of the inning, this has been the inning that will never end for Richardson so far.
As that pitch is going to be upstairs. Count's going to go 2-0. As the Hurricanes are going to have a meeting on the mound now.
Yeah, there you go. And it
which means
like
a water break for me.
Mason's got to stay hydrated out here with how much action we've had. And I think that, you know, this is that sort of turning moment. We talked about how clearly, you know, he gives his guys a long leash, especially Richardson, the Manatee coach gives his guys a long leash, especially Richardson being the ace. But, you know, now is time for we'll call it a stern talking to, right? You just got to lock back in. I think that's the key.
Absolutely. You're looking to settle back down out there and put this inning to an end. You're still very much in this game with how strong the Manatee offense is, so you just got to put this inning to an end.
Yeah, if Wingate shows the first sign of trouble on Palmetto's defense, you know, Manatee will be taking advantage, and I think you'll be surprised how quickly this game gets back to him. And as he attempts a pickoff there, you know, that's a really common move after a mound visit, just giving you more time to catch your breath.
Yeah, just trying to get that runner out on something that he's not expecting over there, maybe.
As the count goes 2-2.
Nope, 2-1.
Man.
As that ball is going to be shut out into right field now. We see Love's throwing the brakes on at second. Now the Tigers are going to have runners on first and second.
The performance Richardson's having on the mound, I'm having at the mic, folks.
As the Tigers now have Landon Henderson coming into bat here.
This is his second time, again, in this inning. He was that first run scored for Palmetto in this inning.
Richardson has faced 13 batters so far this inning. That is insane.
Yeah, his arm has to be ready to fall off about now. The good news is, high school games, of course, only go 7 innings, so he's not going to have to put in the full game of work. But, I would imagine, of course, they're going to have somebody else coming out. And it looks like, yep, look at that. They have their guys going out to the bullpen.
They're going to warm up another arm out there, as that's going to be a 2-0 count here for Richardson with Henderson at the plate.
Yes, that looks like either Van Eaton or possibly Landon Rivero heading out there for Manatee.
Big swing there by Henderson. He's going to foul that one back to the backstop. Count's going to go 2-1.
Yeah, and they have I'll call it a Trop-esque open bullpen out there, so it does make it tough.
Henderson's going to shoot one down the left field line there. That one's going to go out of play, though. Count's going to go 2-2.
And man, it seems
hey,
like
you got to have a guy down there to protect the bullpen guys now.
that's the
Trop
my favorite
way.
thing. Yeah, when I would go to Trop games, is having the catcher set up there and then another guy behind the catcher to protect him. It seems like a lot of staff.
2-2 count here as Richardson gets set on the mound, delivers. Called strike 3, and that's going to be end of the inning here for the Hurricanes.
And man, I mean, that seemed like it was the inning from hell for Richardson. Just didn't seem to have an end in sight, and that's really, really tough. I think especially if you're used to being the ace of that lineup, it's really tough to deal with an inning like that. As he's going to head back to the dugout. He's not interested in the team huddle right about now. He's going to need some bench time.
Yeah, that's tough there. That's a tough inning, and for the Tigers, that's a huge momentum switch. As you didn't just put up a crooked number, you put up 6 and went through a lineup and a half in that inning. So that's exactly what you're looking for. And if you're Wingate out there, now you've been on the bench for a while, so you gotta see what he comes out here with, as he's had a lot of time to sit now.
Yeah, you're relatively cold, so getting good warm-up pitches in is sort of paramount in a moment like this. But I have to say, Palmetto putting up, dare I call them, Yankee numbers.
Oh.
As we see our van there, the people who make it possible, right? I think, we see our guys out here on cameras, and you can tend to think that they're the only thing that makes this happen, but, that's just not so.
Yeah, we see all the people in the van in there. We got Mike, Tommy, and Parth in the van there. And Carl, the guy, we say the guy with the truck.
He is the guy with the truck. That is on his business card, believe it. He gave it to me. I saw it.
It didn't even have his name on it. It just said the guy with the truck.
You'll know who it is. Didn't have a number either. It just said, you know how to find me. It was quite menacing, folks.
Put up the bat signal, and he's there.
Put up the bat. Yeah, and we joke, but Carl absolutely has given so much to this Manatee County athletics, and I don't think that we have the sort of growth both in attendance and in talent in Manatee athletics without MSTV and the good work.
Absolutely, and we thank him for everything that he's done.
Absolutely.
Wingate gets set out here for the 4th inning, as that ball's going to be ripped out into center field there.
Yeah, that's the sort of answer Manatee's going to want to have.
That Manatee's looking to have an inning of their own, starting an inning off like that. As this is only the bottom of the 4th so far, and Manatee's looking for an answer right now.
Bottom of the 4th feels like the top of the 6th.
I was going to say bottom of the 7th. This feels like we're 7 innings into this one.
Yeah, well, the score seems like it's 7 innings in.
As we see Brian Rodriguez coming into bat here for the Hurricanes.
Wingate from the stretch. Oh, he's going to go for that pickoff move again, and it looks like his first baseman just drops the ball.
Wingate almost caught Zucan again.
Man, I mean, it was very interesting talking to Palmetto's coach, right? Interesting to mention something like that, a pickoff move, because usually that's something you keep pretty secretive, but wow, I mean, he wasn't kidding. That is a great pickoff move.
That ball's going to be down low. Count's going to go 1-0. Yeah, no, he had 2 pickoffs in the first inning and almost just had a 3rd.
Yeah, I know it's a good pickoff move because it fools me.
It doesn't take much to fool you, though.
No, that's a low bar. That's a low bar.
Another pickoff there. Not as good as the last one, but still good.
Still good, still good. I mean, I think he's got to be expecting it now, right?
Just trying to scare him back a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we talked about, Manatee loves to steal. So, that's going to be the name of the game.
That ball's going to be ripped on the ground to second, flip to Willis. Willis throws to first, and Palmetto's going to turn a beautiful double play.
Wow. I mean, that was an amazing double play, absolutely textbook, and, you know, really, really, really good fielding of his position by Trey James out there.
That was a phenomenal pick on that ball by Trey James, a beautiful flip to Willis, and Willis had a great feed to first.
Yeah, all around, I think if you're Palmetto's coach, I mean, you can't find any flaws in that. That was perfectly executed.
Absolutely. You don't see a lot of double plays turn at the high school level because it does take so much defensive practice to turn that.
It takes defensive practice, but also a lot of high school teams are changing their lineup so often that you almost don't get that synergy, that level of camaraderie that's needed.
And we've seen completely different out of these two teams. These guys play together with each other so often that that's normal for those two guys out there.
Absolutely, and it's something they practice as well.
As Hyman comes to the plate here and fouls a ball back out of play.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one looks like it just left the batting cage, but
bit of a tongue twister there.
Everybody's okay back there. That's what matters. Sally sold seashells by the seashore?
I'm not even going to try it.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck, Mason?
I'm going to answer a lot.
Are you invoking your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination?
I think so.
Now,
Wingate go ahead.
Wingate, you know, absolutely, you know, veteran moves out there. I will say, just not getting rattled by anything, has stayed so consistent in his pitches and in his pitch selection throughout this. Even though it's this lineup second time seeing him, he doesn't feel the need to change anything. In fact, you know, he has the confidence in his fastball and in his slider to say, I'm just going to do the same thing again.
I would have confidence in my fastball and slider if my fastball was touching upper 70s.
Yeah, well, you know, he said that Palmetto coach said that he can get him to, you know, he can get to the 80s when he's getting a little fired up there on the mound. And I mean, at the high school level,
that's huge.
An 80-mile-per-hour fastball feels like 120.
As Wingate gets set on the mound in this 3-1 count, delivers to the plate down low, and Hyman's going to draw his first walk of the night.
Yeah, I don't think my hardest tennis serve can touch 80.
I think that's sad on your part.
Yeah, it says more about me than it does about Wingate, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Folks, this is why I do commentary, not baseball.
2 down in the inning here. The runner on first for the Hurricanes. As we see Ashton Hovda coming into bat. Big's first swing there. Count's going to go 0-1.
Now, if he can get this pickoff move here, that's going to be absolutely pivotal, getting Hyman leading off.
Wingate set on the mound, delivers to the plate. And they say that Hovda did not go there. Count's going to go 1-1.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating play, especially if you feel like you feel robbed sometimes. And you know, whether it's real or not, it can affect your pitch selection. But man, not that one. That was a beautiful little back foot slider.
Yeah, another big swing by Hovda there as he falls behind 1-2 now. As I have to imagine he chokes up on the bat here.
Yeah, something I really love about sort of that slider and you know, that cutter motion is the ability that you have as a pitcher to change it, right? Meaning your first time through the lineup, you can try and, you know, throw it harder, try and rip down on the seams, get a bit of run and rise to it, a bit more like a two-seam of sorts. And sometimes you can change it up and it almost functions like a 12-6 curveball. Like a Max Fried curveball, I'll call it.
As that pitch is going to be delivered down low. Count's going to go full.
I got to say, as a Yankees fan, it's been pretty interesting watching Max Fried pitch. You know, it's a guy who I've never really paid attention to until now, but man, his pitch selection is really, really interesting. It's very different.
And he has a lot of pitches. I think he throws 6 different pitches.
Yeah, I think once you reach that age, you do develop, you know, a big arsenal. But what's interesting about his is it's not the traditional changeup, slider, cutter, fastball. He's got some weird stuff in there.
Plays to advantage.
Absolutely.
Wingate to the plate on this full count. That ball's going to be down low. Hurricanes are going to have runners on first and second now with 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, now Wingate really needs to, I'll say, lock in here. As it looks like.
Yes, the Hurricanes are looking to muster up an inning of their own.
Yeah, you know, that double play got him out of trouble, but you can tell he's a little cold out there. Some pitches that are missing over the plate, and that's never what you want. You know,
Yeah, it's tough when you're sitting on the bench for 20 minutes as your team's putting up 6 runs an inning. You love your guys out there, but at some point you got to go, I got to get back out there and keep pitching.
Yeah, seriously, and that's when you start, everything possible, whether it's the massage gun or the compression sleeves. I think everybody has something that they think, they swear, keeps them warm.
Another one of those big variances in baseball. Everybody's got something different.
Yeah, absolutely, and part of it ties into the superstition as well. Some guys, they'll insist that if it's a long inning, they need to eat a banana, like my favorite Toronto reliever. What stops you from camping? 2 bananas.
So that ball's going to be popped in the air. Fouled out of play.
Poor tent's taking a beating. Looks like it's the second one that's hit the Manatee ticket tent.
Danger zone over there. Glad it's not us.
Yeah, seriously. You know what? I'm feeling quite protected this close to the fence.
Yes, now we see Richardson coming into bat now, behind 0-1 in this count.
Yeah, this has to feel like a revenge at bat for him.
Swinging strike there. Count's going to go 0-2.
And that's something interesting that I feel like is, we keep talking about the majors, but to tie it back, that's something another thing that I feel like is lost with the, the universal DH, no pitchers hitting. You don't have those sort of revenge innings. They're kind of a fun thing to watch. After a pitcher has a tough inning, watching him go out there and really try and swing the ball to hurt it.
Is that?
Oof, going to be called a ball.
Not going to be strike 3 there.
Man.
Count's going to go 1-2.
Something interesting. I think when you get a frustrating call like that, the coaches get vocal. They tell you, that was the right one, that was the ball.
Wingate to the plate here. That one's going to be fouled out of play by Richardson.
He's going to stay alive. And once again, that poor tent. Richardson has beef with the tent, frankly.
I think so.
It's got to be personal at some level.
At some point, you can only hit it so many times.
He's going to work a hole through that thing. Now Wingate, ahead in this count, really needs to put him away here.
Steps off there and looks both the runners back.
Laser eyes. Laser eyes.
Making sure they're not doing any funny business out there.
Nobody likes funny business. This is a serious sport.
Wingate delivers here. Got him on that one. Strike 3 called.
And
beautiful fastball at the bottom of the zone there just to catch Richardson looking.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what he was looking to do, and the boys are fired up.
Strands 2 runners out on base. Strands 2 men out on.
Strands 2 men out on base. I got you there, Mason.
At some point you just got to be bailed out of the statement.
Yeah, I think we have a tap in, tap out system. It's important. Let's go.
That's exactly what you needed though from the Tigers there. Coming in to pitch after a big inning from your offense. You really want to quiet the opposing team's lineup, and that's exactly what Wingate just did. He's put his team in a beautiful spot there to build on their lead, and if not, just hold the lead at a 5-run lead right now. He's pitched very well so far, and that's exactly what he had to do, was just keep that Hurricane lineup quiet and keep the momentum in your direction.
Yeah, I mean, I can't possibly say it better. That's exactly it, and I think we had a shot of that umpire checking his scorecard there. Bit of a shocking scorecard for today. If you ask me, I think he was looking at his calendar. This game is going long. I think he's looking at what his plans for dinner are later.
It's definitely been a fun game so far. It's not every day you get to see an inside-the-park home run.
No, an inside-the-parker is a pretty remarkable feat, but man, Willis was absolutely hustling out there, wanted to make that one happen. It's going to be Chase Nye leading off this inning for Palmetto, and going to be a new pitcher on the mound as well.
Now pitching number 10, Xander
As we
see the Hurricanes go to a new pitcher here, so Richardson's night is done now, and as you said, Malachi Cleto's coming in to pitch now, and his goal, just like Wingate's was last inning, was quiet this lineup, keep the score where it is, and go from there.
Yeah, and Malachi, a very elite pitcher in his own right, a 2.47 ERA in 5 appearances with 3 wins. I think that for him, he's more of a reliever. He's more of a relief guy that comes in later in the game, and he's going to give them a new look. He's going to make them adjust, and he's going to work through the end of this Palmetto lineup and back into the start of it and see what he can do if he fares better against these really, really hot Tiger bats.
As we have Chase Nye coming in to bat here and looking to keep the hot hitting from last inning.
Absolutely. I think baseball is a game of momentum, and you can only hope to keep it up.
As Cleto gets set for his first pitch of the night, delivers to the plate. Inside on the first pitch, count's going to go 1-0.
Now, Cleto, if we're being honest, for us is a bit of a question mark. Obviously, as a reliever, he's probably going to have that good fastball that he works off of. And, man, a nasty off-speed there. Looks like a big looping curveball.
Yeah, going to come back in and clip the zone there and even this count up at once.
Now, you know, if you're Nye, you're sort of seeing all these things for the first time. It's hard to adjust. And, wow, he makes that adjustment quick. And he adjusts there and
shoots one down the left field line. Oh, it's going to be called foul.
Just foul if it was. That was a really, really close ball.
Either way, got a hold of that one and just shot it down the line.
I thought my announcer's jinx just got me there. But you can tell, you know, he squared that one up really well. He was just a little early on it. That breaking ball, excuse me, is a big sort of time difference to his fastball. He's got a fast fastball and a slow curveball, and that really throws off hitters.
I'd be curious to see if we could get a replay on that last hit down the line there. As we see Nye go down swinging on that one.
And they're going to play the Mario music for them. That's a tough move when you're down 5. So that's going to be Landon Stewart up to bat. Now Landon's played some pretty impeccable defense out there in left field so far this game. I mean, frankly, every team has, every player has, but you know what they do out there at the plate is what matters right now. Ooh, so he just
as that one's going to hit him, and he's going to take his base there.
Way to take your base well, though. Now 1 man on, 1 man out.
Now we see Amir Simmons coming in to bat this inning.
Simmons swinging a hot bat. Well, I might be mistaken. I think he actually drew a walk earlier.
That one doesn't feel as good as a walk. That one leaves a mark.
No, that one hurts a touch. Don't rub it.
Simmons shifting out of the way of that one for ball 1 in this count.
Listen, I've always said there's 2 levels of hit by pitch, right? If you get grazed, don't rub it. If it really plunks you, you put some dirt in it. You're good. Take that base.
That's a mindset.
That's a mindset of somebody who's not been hit by a 70-mile-per-hour fastball.
I think so.
You might see some tears out there if I get plunked. There's no crying in baseball, but there is crying for William Ailes.
One down in the inning here, 2-0 count to Simmons at the plate.
And you can hear that Tiger dugout making some noise, trying to be a distraction.
Cleto gets set on the mound, delivers here. Down low, count's going to go 3-0.
I gotta say, I'm a fan of Simmons' bat there. That's a decent design on it.
It's a nice looking bat.
It's a solid looking bat. I mean, I think
that pitch is going to clip the zone there. Count's going to go 3-1.
I think at this stage of the game, you have to start appreciating the fashion.
Got to have a little style out there.
Listen, no flow. That's a points deduction, but we can work it out. We can work with it. So that's a pickoff.
Cleto showing off his pickoff move there, trying to see what he can work.
Yeah, and that's tough as a righty. Lefty's always going to have a better pickoff move, but there are some notable righties with really, really good elite pickoff moves.
Not enough to get Stewart out there at first, but still a very good pickoff move. As we see Simmons drawing the walk there, so now the Tigers going to have runners on first and second with 1 down in the inning.
Yeah, that's a walk and a hit by pitch, and I have to say, it's kind of uncharacteristic for
Number 7, Trey James.
As Trey James comes into bat now for the Tigers, and see what he can get working here.
Excuse me, folks. It's uncharacteristic for Colito, who has a relatively low ERA, not used to going into long innings, and especially not used to coming into the fifth. He's more of a 6th, 7th inning guy.
So he gets set on the mound here and delivers. That ball's going to be looped out there into center field. Sue makes the play. Left fielder's going to make the catch on that one.
Yeah, Zimka comes over, fields his position well.
Catcher number 18, JT Wood.
And that was an odd ball when it was hit. It didn't tail much, which is what you kind of expect. It was kind of a up and down bloop.
As JT Wynn comes in about here now for the Tigers with 2 down in the inning and runners still on 1st and 2nd. See what he can get going here. As Cleto's first pitch is down low. Count's going to go 1-0.
Wynn managed to make it 1st to 3rd on a hit earlier in the game. Clearly has some speed in him, so gonna want to do all you can to keep him off base here, especially with runners on.
Cleto delivers here as that ball's going to be shot back into the fence.
Something I always find interesting, a weird quirk with baseball, is how often they switch out the balls. Because that can make a huge difference in how a pitch behaves. If a pitch has a scuff on it, you can get some really, really wild break.
As Cleto steps off here and looks that runner back to 2nd.
Once again, bringing out the laser eyes. You got to scare him a little bit. It's an intimidation.
Hey, as I said earlier, make sure no funny business happen out there.
You can't have funny business. This is not funny business.
Cleto to the plate here in the 1-1, down low. That ball's going to squirt away from the catcher. Palmetto's going to try and advance both runners, and they will.
And that's really well timed, and that's heads-up base running, right? Seeing what happens and immediately reacting to it. They didn't wait a second. They knew the second that catcher didn't come up with the ball, they were going.
Yeah, the second that ball squirted away there, even in the slightest, they were going.
And I have to say, Alar has had an amazing game so far defensively as catcher, and looks like his first little mistake there.
As Cleto gets set in the 2-1, delivers to the plate. That ball's going to be popped in the air. Cleto calling, now the first baseman calling. Cleto backs off, and that's going to put an end to that inning there.
Yeah, so
keep the Tigers off the board, and that's what I said before the inning started. That's what you got to do if you're the Hurricanes.
Exactly. Manatee managed to work their way out of trouble, and that's much easier said than done, especially against this Palmetto lineup, which frankly is one that runs off of momentum, and when they get going, it can be very, very hard to stop them.
Though it might not have been in the cleanest fashion, they definitely did. They definitely held the Tigers off the board, and that's exactly what you had to do. It doesn't matter if you did it with bases loaded and nobody out, or you did it with no runners on base.
Yeah, with Wingate coming out now, I think that the sort of the tip for him is going to be just keep it in the zone. He
challenge those Hurricane hitters.
Exactly, right? He's a guy that, like his coach said, likes to challenge guys in the zone. He was a strike pitcher. And I think getting back to those fundamentals is what makes him great. That slider is filthy, and it's really hard to adjust to. So having the confidence in your own pitches to say, I'm going to challenge these guys every chance I get, that's what will set him up for success.
Yeah, it really sets you up to finish this game off here, and that's what Wingate's looking to do. Another clean inning of work, and it's going to set his team up to continue to hold this lead.
Absolutely, and as a senior, he has to be a little used to these high pitch count games, and this certainly
not his
is
first
one.
time.
Not his first time. But especially what fatigues you isn't just the high pitch counts; it's that wait that called a 20-minute inning that he had.
Definitely.
Just sitting there on the bench.
No, those are always tough as a pitcher. Like I was saying, you have major league pitchers that sometimes start to look at the guys, and you're like, "Hey, I still got a pitch. Can we bring this one to an end?" Like I know the scoring's great, but I still got to go back out there.
I remember last game there was a game so bad the Yankees had such a horrible inning that the opposing pitcher went out and was like talking to his team, and he's like, "Am I gonna go back to the bullpen? Like, how am I staying hot here?"
As we now see the Hurricanes getting another couple guys warmed up in that pen down there. and Andrew Hyman and Carson Clover. Getting warmed up in the pen down there, as I can only expect we're going to see at least one of them, if not both of them, in this game.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, if you're the Manatee coach, you're not planning on that. You didn't expect a sort of platoon game, I'll call it. You really thought that your ace was going to carry you through, and obviously a disappointing game for Richard, but Richardson, but he has been so consistent all year, and this is an uncharacteristic start for him.
Everybody has those bad games, and you just got to flush them, and tonight was one of those nights, and there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, it's a shame it happens in this game. Obviously, we know about this rivalry. We know how much this game means to the players, and
yeah, to both sides.
It's easy to just linger on it. I think you have to move past.
As we see a pinch hitter for the Hurricanes, as we see Xander Arias coming into bat now.
And he looks like he worked in a curveball there that I haven't been seeing from him a lot. Really good curveball that tunnels really well with his slider.
Yeah, catch that pinch hitter off guard.
Exactly. Out of the hand, it looks exactly like his slider, except it just doesn't have any horizontal break.
As Arias is going to foul that one out of play. Count's going to stay 0-2.
Yeah, and that foul ball had him a little worried. I thought that was going to stay fair for a second, and it was going to be a throwdown, but luckily just rolls out.
Just rolled out of play there, and Arias is going to be coming back into the box for another at-bat.
Yeah, he's taking a long walk. He's going to catch his breath. He's going to collect himself. He might have sprinted a little hard out of the box there.
Got a lot of ground to cover when the catcher doesn't have much to get to the ball. You got to be moving.
I always love seeing pitchers coming out from the bullpen in Major League games, and they'll sprint out to the mound and they'll be out of breath for the next, 4 pitches. So that's going to be a strikeout.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pitch there by Wingate just to catch Arias looking on that one.
And again, it works so well off of his other pitches. I think that's, something that's been so impressive. And my takeaway about Wingate has been he just knows his own arsenal so well.
And I think that's his 4th strikeout of the night.
Exactly. And, when you compare those to the majors, sure, it doesn't seem like a lot. But for high school, those are ludicrous numbers. This has been an amazing start for him.
As Gage Blanchard comes into bat now for the Hurricanes. First pitch is going to be upstairs by Wingate. Count's going to go 1-0. Wingate delivers a strike here to even this count up at 1s.
Yeah, and I think those are the type of pitches we're talking about where, you need to be aggressive, you need to challenge them in the zone, and by doing that, he just keeps them on their toes. They don't know what's coming next because of that good selection.
Down low here, count's going to go 2-1.
Now, if he can get through this inning, it really looks like the Palmetto's starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
You set yourself up very well. As that pitch is going to be down low, the count's going to go 3-1.
And that's a close one. Now, this is sort of the payoff. This is where Wingate lets him know how much he wants it. Probably is going back to the fastball.
Delivers here. That ball's going to be grounded to their shortstop, Willis, third first, and He's going to get him.
What a play. What a play.
Great play there by Blake Willis.
And what's been so impressive about this team, yes, there have been great plays, for Manatee and for Palmetto, but there's been the consistency. Every time there's contact, somebody is either going to make a real close diving play for it or is going to make a great play.
As the Tigers now have 2 down in the inning with Jordan Roberts coming into bat now for the Hurricanes. As that lineup flips back over to their leadoff hitter.
We talked about Roberts being a scary bat. You don't want this man on.
Wingate steps off and takes time here. Gets back on the mound, delivers here. Down low and inside on the first pitch, ball 1 there.
Yeah, and it looks like he really buckled Roberts there. He's had his timing way off.
Wingate delivers here as that ball's going to be ripped in between the third and shortstop gap.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about that you don't want. Roberts is scary on the base path.
Roberts is going to have his 2nd hit of the night there.
Number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's been weird about this game has been amazing hitting on all sides, but just the defense has been the absolute star of the show.
For sure. I mean, we've seen some phenomenal defensive plays so far today.
I mean, Roberts is sitting at 10 stolen bases in just 19 games played.
As we see Peyton Harlan coming into bat now for the Hurricanes. As that ball's going to be popped in the air, first baseman calling it. Simmons into foul territory, and he's going to put an end to the bottom of the 5th. We're going to go into the top of the 6th now. 6-1 lead for the Tigers.
And that works Palmetto right out of trouble. That's exactly what they're looking for, and it's exactly what they need in this moment. Now, if you're Manatee, if you're the Manatee coach, what are you telling your guys in the dugout before they go out?
Got to have a clean inning here. At least on the scoreboard. Doesn't matter the hits, doesn't matter the base runners. Got to have a clean inning on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I think, talking to the Manatee coach, what's so impressive about him, and a quality you love to see in all coaches, is the confidence he has in his guys. He knows they're going to go out there and they're going to play absolutely premier baseball, and how they do that, frankly, is up to them. He gives them a level of autonomy. He knows they're good defenders. He doesn't let big hits rattle them, and that's such an important quality to be so calm as a coach.
Yeah, being calm out there just really gives your guys a lot of confidence. If you seem rattled out there as a coach, it'll make you feel rattled as a player. If you're out there super calm as a coach, you can sometimes calm your players down.
Absolutely. Interesting that Cleto comes out to pitch this game again. They did have a couple guys warming up in the bullpen, but they think against it. Yeah,
they elect for Cleto to come back out here for his second inning of work.
And, Cleto, being a junior, you do have some level of control to say to coach, hey, I know I know it was touch and go there on that last inning, but I'm feeling good. I feel like I can do good work. I want the ball.
As we see Blake Willis coming in for another at-bat tonight. And at this point, I've lost count of what at-bat it is for him.
Yeah, it's got to be his third, or I think
it's his fourth. I shooting a guess there, but that's my guess.
Yeah. Now, Mason, now's the time that really matters in the game. Jersey review.
S tier for both of them. You can't hate on the Powder Blues and you can't hate on the All Blacks.
Now, listen, I know you're going to be a little predisposed to the Powder Blues as a Rays fan, but I gotta be honest. I'm a huge fan. They're good jerseys all around.
A huge fan there, and the All Blacks remind me of the All Black Baltimore uniforms too, and I really like those. So
yeah, same with
big fans of both of them.
Same with like the old D-backs jerseys.
Absolutely, those are an S tier all-time jersey right there.
Gotta be.
As that ball is gonna be popped in the air out of play by Willis.
Luckily, going to avoid the crowd.
Looks like it landed on one of the practice fields over there.
Now, Willis, I believe, is 3 for 4 in this game.
As Cleto takes an 0-1 lead there. Delivers upstairs there and is going to even this count out at 1-1.
And, another interesting thing to note, Cleto not a particularly tall guy himself, but, Willis is, fairly short, especially for, a guy that swings a bat as hot as his.
And he's going to shoot that ball out of play.
Same spot.
Another decoration for the side field over there.
Man. He's playing the new ball game. But that also shrinks down his strike zone a lot. He's got an Altuve-esque strike zone out there that makes it hard to pitch him strikes.
You're always in a good comparison, though, when your name's in the same category as Jose Altuve, though.
Well, he doesn't have a buzzer as far as I know.
For the most part. As he almost beats that one out down the line. Oh. It was a really close play.
Really close play. And I have to say, especially, not to keep dogging on the guy for being short, but for his size, he is so quick.
As it looks like Peyton Havda almost caught him down the line there, or almost didn't get him down the line there. Looks like got him by like a half step.
And obviously we were kidding about the Altuve thing, but I really do see sort of shades of Altuve from him.
Absolutely, and that's always a good category to be in there. He's one of the best hitting second basemen, not of my generation, but of all time.
Absolutely. Listen, controversy aside, there's no denying the guy is elite.
For sure.
And there's no denying Willis is elite.
As you have Keaton Love coming in to bat here for the Tigers. Big swing there as he falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, and getting behind in this at-bat is not what you want. You're already one out in the inning. You don't want to let it go to waste. At the same time, with that 5-run lead, you do build up a little bit of confidence.
Got to protect the strike zone here, though. 1-2 stays the count.
Yeah, you're looking to just foul the ball off. When you're at a 2-strike count, what is one of the ways you can sort of try and adjust?
Yeah, you choke up on that bat. You get rid of your leg kick a little bit. Simplify all the mechanics. You're just trying to put a bat on the ball.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it. You're trying to stay alive.
As that ball is going to get to the backstop there, just splits between the legs of the catcher.
Ooh.
Weird looking play over there.
That was a strange one. I don't know what would you call that a pass ball? Or it would hit the ground, so it would be a wild pitch, right?
There's no runners on base. It doesn't.
Oh, true. It doesn't really matter.
2-2 count here to Keaton Love at the plate. Clayto delivers. And they're going to see if he swung there. See what the verdict is.
And they're going to call that a swing.
And they say he did. It's going to be 2 down in the inning now.
And I got to be honest, it's as a lefty, it's tough that the guy that you're appealing to for a challenge is down the first base line. It's really hard to get an angle on whether or not you swung because your back is to him.
Yeah, that's a really tough stance there.
That's why in the majors, obviously you'll have a guy on an umpire on first and on third to call whether or not it's a swing.
As we have Chance Shophocker coming in to bat here. That ball's going to be fouled out of play. And I don't know how I just noticed it, but Clayto gives me Mariano Rivera vibes out there with his warm-up. Or with his wind-up, excuse me.
Just a touch.
The same leg kick and everything.
As that foul ball went into the stands, looked like everybody was okay.
That pitch is going to be out of the zone there.
He does, but he comes over it a bit more than Mo. What allowed Mariano Rivera to have that great cutter was that sort of weird arm slot he had, especially weird for the time. He
Absolutely.
Wasn't a traditional pitcher.
Absolutely. I was more speaking on the leg kick in the start.
It definitely reminds me of it.
That ball's going to be popped in the air down the third base line. Roberts tracking it, and that's going to put an end to the Palmetto top of the 6th.
And, if you're Palmetto, it's not the inning you wanted, but again, you have a 5-run lead. I think you can feel confident in that, innings like that, they don't get you. Excuse me, they don't get to you. They're not going to bother you. But amazing work from Clayto there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're looking for. Just another clean inning there, like we were saying before. Clean inning of work, keep your team in this game, and see where you can go.
Yeah, but you're right about the Mariano Rivera comparison. He sort of glides his leg along the ground there.
As we are going to see Wingate go back out for another inning of work.
And you know what? That's confidence, and I respect that so much. And that your guy's good. He's proven material, right? I mean, he's getting hit a touch, but he knows that in those tough positions, who else would you rather have on the bump?
Yeah, if you're the Tigers, you're saying this is my guy.
Absolutely.
He's out there and he's looking to quiet the Hurricane offense for another inning.
Call him Screwball the way he's the Tigers' ace.
See, you're a poet, and now you're trying to do too much.
I'll let you be the judge of too much, Mason. You always are my curve. Now, luckily, he wasn't sitting for quite as long as he's been getting used to, but he's going to stay hot through this game, and obviously has a lot of confidence in his own stuff, has a lot of confidence in what he can do.
As it looks like Zunica's going to be leading off this inning for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're Wingate, getting through this inning is paramount, right? Obviously, you almost expect to at this level, at this part of the game, with facing Manatee's lineup, you expect to get hit around just a touch, but you know that. I'm sure, him going out this inning was a little conditional, right? I'm sure his coaches told him, you're free to go out, but, if you start getting lit up, we're pulling you. Or, they gave him a number. That happens a lot, where if you get a man on second, we're pulling you. Setting those sort of stop gaps is important at this level.
As it is Zuniga that's going to be leading off this inning for the Hurricanes in the bottom of the 6th here.
Zuniga had some luck so far this game in getting on first.
Wingate gets set on the mound here, and Zuniga's going to bloop a ball out there in the center field, and that's going to be, I think, his 3rd hit of the night.
I believe it is, and absolutely great game for Zuniga so far. I mean, he just can't get off first base, though.
It's going to be a leadoff hit for the Hurricanes there now. Man on first, nobody out.
And you hear the coaches telling Wingate, don't worry about that runner. Just keep on playing your game.
As we see Brian Rodriguez coming in to bat now for the Hurricanes.
Rodriguez with that great eye is going to make Wingate work. He's going to make him challenge him in the zone.
Wingate picks off to first here.
He's also a guy.
Zuniga's going to slide back in safely.
Yeah, and he's also a guy, Roberts, like Willis, who, because he's shorter, has such a smaller strike zone.
As Wingate delivers strike 1 there. He's going to get ahead in this count 0-1. As Wingate delivers here. Into the dirt, count's going to go even at 1.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, you're just not going to get ahead on Roberts with pitches like that. You need to be in the zone. He's not going to have any ugly, I'll call them Lindor swings. You're just going to have to, excuse me, Javi Baez, wrong guy. You're just going to have to execute.
I was going to say, hating on an MVP runner-up is a bold move.
No. Javi Baez. Hey, was it Javi Baez that swung at a pitch that bounced like it was cricket?
I believe he did.
He's been
not his brightest moments.
He's been having a weird one.
Hey, I think he's batting .333 to start the year, though, so.
I rescind my comment. .333 must be like this next guy coming up.
Wingate set on the mound here to deliver in the 1-2 count to Rodriguez. Picks off to first, and Zuniga slides back in safely. As Rodriguez is going to foul that one out of play.
And his coach really walking him through these last, the sort of last inning. You know this might be his last inning of work unless he can end it quickly here. That pitch count is starting to get up to him. But he's executing on all of these pitches. He's putting a little extra.
Wingate gets set again in the 1-2.
He really is putting a little extra hate on these fastballs.
This Rodriguez looks like he fouled that one off as well. Count's going to stay at 1-2.
Rodriguez so good at just keeping he just keeps fouling off these pitches. Eventually he's going to get one to hit.
Wingate delivers here. And Rodriguez is going to go down swinging there.
And he makes me eat my words. Wingate perfectly executed.
A beautiful, what looked to be curveball down in the dirt there.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that once obviously the hitter has seen the pitcher enough times, you get better. But also as a pitcher, you start to understand how to pitch to these guys. And he knew Roberts struggled with that curveball, so he kept going to it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, once you find a weakness in guys out there, you're definitely going to exploit it.
For sure.
As we see Hyman coming in to bat here for the Hurricanes. Another pickoff by Wingate as Zuniga slides back in safely.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the game, the pickoff gets a little slower. You're a bit more tired. But, he is still executing on those pitches. I have to say, really, really amazing positioning so far.
And I also think you're going to see Zuniga be a little bit more careful out there as he's already been picked off once today.
And wow, that was quite the play. He, just as I said that his locations were great, he spiked a ball. Looks like
not a perfect throw down there by the Palmetto catcher, but a phenomenal grab and almost a phenomenal tag by the Palmetto second baseman.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great jump by Zuniga.
Wingate delivers to the plate as that ball's popped in the air by Hyman. Simmons tracking it over at first. Into foul territory, makes the catch. 2 down in the inning now. 2
down in the inning. Wingate has to be feeling a bit more confident. He's going to work his way out of this. And, this is pivotal right here.
Shortstop back, number 6, Ashton Hovda.
As Ashton Hovda comes into bat here now. Looking to drive in his teammate Zuniga out there on second base. I believe Hovda might be 2 for 2 tonight as well. Or 2 for 4, whatever, wherever it's at.
Frankly, folks, there's been so much hitting tonight, it is genuinely hard to keep track.
Absolutely. You're looking at 7 hits for the Tigers and 6 hits for the Hurricanes. As that ball is going to be blooped out there in a center field by Hovda. Center fielder calling it. He's going to make the catch and put an end to the bottom of the 6th.
And I mean, Mason, we talked about it as we were getting some dinner before this game that we knew this was going to be a great offensive game, but I couldn't have predicted this. This has been really, really, I mean, elite hitting on both sides of the field.
Couldn't have said it better there myself. This game has been elite levels of hitting on both sides. You not seen anything like this at the high school level in any of the games I've commentated or been a part of.
Absolutely.
This has been impressive.
This is a gem, and you know, folks, we're sitting next to the Palmetto dugout. They're getting pretty hyped in there. I think they're starting to build up that confidence that this game really might be in their reach. They're looking to go out there and you know, punish them a bit, make Manatee work for every last out, and then hopefully just go out there and really finish the job in the bottom of the seventh.
As we are on to the 7th inning now, and we're going to see Clayton come back out there for a third inning and a work for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and you know, Clayton, and very impressive inning last inning. You know, he's played very, very solid. I'm gonna call it sort of defensive pitching, right? He's not particularly using his best stuff, but he just knows, you know, like Richardson and like Wingate, he just knows, you know, he knows his own arsenal very well, and he knows how to play each pitch off of each other, and that's the mark of really, really good coaching and good information.
He has. He's done a very good job of quieting this Tigers lineup the last 2 innings, and as he looks to go out and do it for a third.
And frankly, we know that's not easy. As the coaches seem like they met near home plate, we don't know what that discussion was about. Do you have any guesses, Mason?
I got nothing.
That's a shame, because I got nothing.
As we see Landon Henderson coming into bat now for the Tigers to lead off this inning.
Henderson, we talked about it before, a hot bat, slugging 600. You know, if that ball touches his bat, it's beyond the infield.
It's jumping off the bat.
A big frame from Henderson, so just a lot of leverage to work with.
Cleto delivers here in the dirt for the first pitch of the inning.
And you hear this Tigers bullpen, dugout, like we talked about, getting fired up. I think, you know, this is such a pivotal game for Palmetto with the, you know.
As that ball is going to be shot in the outfield by Henderson, tracked by the right fielder, and he's going to make a play on that ball.
And what did I say? I mean, that ball is jumping off the bat of Henderson. You know, unfortunately, you had a man there, but Henderson absolutely crushing balls all over the place tonight.
Very deep fly ball there for Henderson.
That made the Manatee dugout a little nervous for a second.
As we now see Chase Nye coming in to bat for the Tigers. As Cleto delivers strike 1 at the bottom of the zone.
Important to note, Chase Nye, no small bat himself, has absolutely earned his spot on this team with his great slugging numbers.
As that pitch is going to be in the dirt there by Cleto, the count's going to go even at 1-1.
Cleto working quick out there on the mound. Obviously, he's dries his hands with the rosin bag there. He's going to wipe them off for a bit.
Cleto set in this 1-1. Delivers to the plate. Upstairs, the count's going to go 2-1. Cleto delivers in the dirt there. The count's going to go 3-1.
As we have some of the more interesting chants coming out in the 7th inning. This is where the boys have some fun.
Cleto set in the 3-1. Delivers to the plate. Nye's going to ground that one to short. Fielded by Havda. Throws to first, and Hyman just couldn't make the pick on it.
Yeah, that's a tough ball to pick. You know, if you're the first baseman, if you're Hyman, you got to be a little frustrated. But letting a runner on in this Tiger lineup is dangerous. You saw how they just work off of each other and how they feed into each other. I think you know, when we went and talked to the Palmetto coach, he just talked about the sort of camaraderie and team you know, sort of team spirit that these guys have for one another. And you know, I think that is clear when you have runners on base in these pivotal moments. They just hit better.
Yeah, that's a tough pick out there by Hyman. There's not much you can do about that one. As the Tigers now have Landon Stewart at the plate. as Cleto falls behind 1-0 here in this count. Set to deliver here again. Big swing by Stewart there.
Yeah, that was a revenge hack.
He was looking to hit the flagpole in center. Cleto picks off to first. As we see Nye sliding back in safely.
And you'd see at this point of the game, you assume Nye has to kind of want to steal, right?
Stewart takes that one in the dirt as Nye breaks for second. Throw down by Manatee, and Nye's going to be in there safely.
I mean, what a throw. I mean, an amazing throw.
What a throw, and what an attempted tag there by Hobbs that just didn't develop fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, I know we keep saying it, folks, and I mean, we sound like a broken record, but the defense we've seen tonight from both sides, from both teams, has been really, really amazing.
Yeah, it's been very, very impressive. Both teams have played a very clean defensive game.
I mean, and speaking frankly, coming from Southeast, seeing this defense at the high school level is so impressive.
Absolutely. As Cleto evens up that count there at 2-2 with Stewart still at the plate.
Still only one out in the top of the seventh.
The runner on second. Cleto delivers here. And that pitch is going to be down low there.
That's one of those borderline ones. I think if you're Cleto, you just need to erase it from your mind. Pretend it didn't happen and just come out there ready to rip the next one.
Count's going to go full here. Cleto delivers to the plate. That ball's going to be shot out into right field by Stewart and going to be caught by the right fielder. Nye's going to tag for third and get into third safely.
Comfortably into third, and now you have 2 outs, man on third. I mean, a little ground ball here scores them.
That's another really hard hit ball by the Tigers today. That ball was absolutely blistered out there in the right field.
Yeah, and you know, it's impressive considering when you look at their numbers, they're not a home run team. And you know, Mason, you were telling me before this game started that you know these home runs aren't all that common at this level. But man, you have seen them get a hold of some tonight.
No, the majority of the home runs you see at the high school level are going to be those inside the parkers. You don't see a lot of guys getting it out 330 down the right field line and the left field line and things like that. You see a lot of doubles, some triples.
Yeah,
a lot of chaos on the base paths.
What I thought was so remarkable was the obvious greatness of this Manatee lineup, how amazing they are at hitting, and yet no homers for them on the year.
And it's like that for a lot of high school teams, and even in most recent history, Max Clark, who's a high school baseball player out of California, I want to say, but he only hit 6 home runs in high school in his senior year. He's now a top 10 prospect in baseball. So it's high school home runs aren't very common.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and it's very interesting. When you're interested in this sport at all levels, just see how it changes and see how the game progresses. That's going to be inside.
Yeah, you see a lot of progression in those minor leagues and throughout college ball where you can focus a lot more on your athletics. You don't have to deal with as much of school with your athletics.
Just a touch. Who is it that recently got in trouble for? Ooh, that practice swing almost clocked the catcher there, Elar. Yeah, who is it recently? What college got in trouble for faking a bunch of classes for their athletes?
I do not remember. Not even to shoot a guess. Don't remember.
I don't want to make any false accusations, so I'll
I think it's a smart move.
I'll take your lead.
As Cleto gets set here in the full count. To Simmons at the plate. Simmons shoots that one out foul down the left field line, and that one is very far foul.
Out in a hurry.
That one is in the next town over.
That one might be in the river.
Very possible. And you'll hear a splash in 3, 2. Simmons shoots that one back into the backstop there.
And boy, he's got him timed up.
Staying alive out there.
Wouldn't be going back to that fastball right now.
Cleto gets set on the mound here again for his third pitch in a 3-2 count. Delivers to the plate. Simmons shoots that one foul out of play down the left field line again.
Far foul, but again, really deep. He clearly is swinging for the fences.
That's another deep foul ball there. Simmons gets set again here and shoots that one foul out of play. Just over the fence there again. Is that 5 foul balls in a 3-2 count?
Man, this is an at-bat that's never going to end.
He's having a battle out there.
And I love hearing this dugout get into it.
Gotta love the energy in a baseball game.
It's nothing like it.
Cleto gets set again here for another 3-2 pitch to the plate. That pitch is going to be upstairs as Simmons is going to draw the walk and put runners on the corners for the Tigers.
And that was just the world's longest walk. Now, Mason, I'm not superstitious, only a little stitious, but it's got to be the bat. It's got to be the paint. Frankly, he was looking fly out there.
The style by some of these high school players is absolutely unmatched.
Yeah, I'm seeing guys out here with like custom sliding mitts. I'm like, whoa.
I need one to take the pizza out of the oven.
You're using a sliding mitt for that? I think you might be overpaying, buddy.
I think I might.
It was $90 for my oven mitt. Is that too much?
As Trey James comes into bat now for the Tigers. As that ball is going to clear the head of the pitcher, luckily the second baseman's there to back that up as Palmetto bluffs a run home. Cleto behind in a 1-0 count here now with 2 outs in the inning and runners on the corners for the Tigers.
And that's something I just heard from the crowd. Somebody said no pressure on you here. And I think if you're a freshman, that's exactly what you want to hear.
Trey James gets ahead in this count here, 2-0. Little meeting on the mound there between the shortstop, Havda, and Cleto, just going over something. Who knows what?
I think it's what they're gonna eat after the game.
I don't think that's what that was.
It's gotta be, dude. They love Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. I don't even know if they're still open. It's a shame.
Cleto delivers outside there. Count's gonna go 3-0.
I think what he told him is if he wraps this game up quick, they can get some Chick-fil-A after. Watch, this guy's gonna turn into like prime Paul Skeens.
Cleto gets set to deliver here. And that pitch is gonna be strike one of this at bat. Count's gonna go 3-1.
What'd I
You say
say?
that like Paul Skeens isn't in his prime right now.
Yeah, I was trying to think of somebody else, and Paul Skeens is the first person that came to mind.
Cleto delivers here in the 3-1, down low.
It's got to be a splinker.
Bases are going to be juiced here for the Tigers. As we're going to see JT Wynn coming to the plate here. Catcher for the Tigers, getting another at-bat tonight, looking to do some damage out there. Bases loaded, 2 down in the inning. Trying to extend it.
This is the exact situation he wants to find himself in, and frankly, even if he can just draw a walk, that brings back up the start of the lineup.
Yeah, turn the lineup back over and get your boy Blake Willis, the leadoff hitter, back up to the plate again.
Absolutely, a man who's been electric so far this game. He's giving the old Barry Bonds double bat warm up in the batting circle there.
As Cleto gets set to deliver here, that ball is going to be fouled out of play by JT. He's going to fall behind 0-2.
It's 0-2 in the count. Let's see if he can work some magic.
Cleto setting the mound. Ready to deliver to the plate. Delivers. JT fouls that one off out of play. Bouncing off the fence, the dugout fence, and then the ground.
With the amount of contact we've been seeing, so many deep foul balls, it's been a miracle. Cleto's been allowed. Cleto's kept this inning scoreless.
And like I said, no matter the means. And JT's going to ground that ball to short. Fielded by Havda.
Misses the pick.
And Hyman can't make that pick. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score. Palmetto sending another. He's going to slide in. He's going to be out on the slide. Trey James tries to make magic happen and score a 3rd run on that one and just couldn't make it happen.
And frankly, I think if you're Palmetto, you take the 2.
You're trying to squeeze another across there, but you're going to take the 2.
You absolutely take the 2. We might be mistaken. Was that only 1?
Might be mistaken on that one. Thought it was 2. Might be 1.
Frankly, folks, Palmetto's been going so deep into at-bats, we're getting a little delirious out here.
I'm going to go.
There we go.
No. I was about to correct myself, and glad I didn't get there.
Our overlords in the van have confirmed.
It is going to be a 2-run inning there for the Tigers. As we are going to see Hunter Wingate go back out there for a 7th inning of work and look for a complete game out here.
I mean, frankly, a complete game, 1 run. I mean, that's
very
bonkers
impressive
against this Manatee lineup, who has just been, I mean, frankly, smacking everybody they've been playing so far this season.
This has been a very impressive game from the Tigers on a lot of standpoints, and there's been a lot of bright spots from the Hurricanes as well. Though you're down by 7 going into the bottom of this inning, there has been some very bright spots. You've had 3 hit nights out of guys, and that's what you got to build off of.
Yeah, I have written down, circled, and underlined worthy opponent, and that's what I think Palmetto has been. I mean, Manatee went into this game the clear favorites. Palmetto, frankly, is having a hit-or-miss season. They have glimpses of greatness, but have struggled to put together that game. And, man, to put together that game against the rival Manatee, who is themselves having a fantastic season, that is exactly what you're hoping for if you're
very
a
impressive. As you see the umpire just getting some more balls out there as Wingate takes his last couple warm-up pitches and gets set to close this game out here.
And we'll see what he can do. Again, attacking the zone is still going to be key for him. I mean, you see that when he tries to, I'm going to call it, get fancy with it, he struggles. He walks too many guys. He starts to lose those fundamentals. But when he stays aggressive, stays attacking the zone, that's when he is at his best.
Palmetto just talking over this last half inning here on the mound as Wingate gets set.
Now hitting for the Hurricanes, number 23, Mikey Bowes.
As the Hurricanes are going to pinch hit Mikey Bowes, the senior.
Give me strike 1 there by Wingate. Foul ball by Bowes.
Bowes hitting .500 on the season in 11 games played, 12 plate attempts. Those are monster numbers.
Big swing there by Bowes. He falls behind 0-2.
Frankly, this is the guy you want out there right now in this moment if you're a Hurricane. I had to double check my eyes are not deceiving me. He has a .750 on base percentage in those 11.
That's ridiculous.
14 plate appearances.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
.750.
Wingate delivers in the dirt here on the 1-2. Count's going to go 2-2.
And his coach reminding him, he says, you just got to breathe, take your time. And right now, this is absolutely a duel of 2 veteran players. I mean, what is a dominant pitcher so far in this game in Wingate? And, I mean, frankly, just Barry Bonds numbers from Bowes.
Wingate set on the mound, delivers to the plate here in the 2-2. That pitch is going to be upstairs. Count's going to go full.
And, luckily Bowes not exactly a traditional stolen base threat. So I think if you're Wingate, you're almost a little bit more okay with walking him here.
Wingate delivers here, and Bowes is going to rip that one into center field for his first hit of the night.
And that's what he does.
Hurricanes have the leadoff man on now.
Interesting to see if they pinch run here.
Catcher number 10, Xander Arias.
As Xander Arias is going to come into bat here for the Hurricanes.
Again, another pinch hit here. The Hurricanes just trying to get anybody out there that they have confidence in their hitting. Arias hitting .364 on the season.
He's been pretty good tonight. I think he pinch hit a couple innings ago, so this will probably be his second at bat.
Did he? Okay.
Wingate picks off to first, and Bose slides back in safely. Got to dirty up the uniform out there.
Yeah, you gotta get a little dirt on it. I mean, how else will you know you played?
Wingate delivers here. Down low, ball 2.
I think this connects to our fashion talk, Mason. I think the black uniforms, they're pretty good at hiding the stains. The white pants, that's tough. The dry cleaning costs, they got to stack up.
It looks like Arias is going to foul that one off.
Mason, did you have a pant stain mishap of your own today?
We're not even going to talk about that.
Folks, there may have been a lemonade incident.
We're not even going there. Wingate delivers to the plate here. That ball's going to be upstairs. Count's going to go 2-1.
Two 2-1 the count. An important pitch here. And he does more than execute. That's a beautiful strike.
Count's going to go 2-2 here.
I think right now as this night starts to cool off, you get a bit of a second wind in the 7th.
Wingate delivers to the plate here. And that's going to be a foul-tipped strikeout there. That is some tough luck by Arias. There is not much you can do there.
Yeah, and a good job to get your glove on it if you're the catcher.
It's a great job to just corral that ball off the bat there by JT.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I noticed, Bose takes a huge lead off at first. I assume Wingate has to try and pick him off, right?
As Wingate delivers down low here to Blanchard coming in to bat for the Hurricanes.
Now, important to note, Blanchard has stupid stats. I mean, 571 on the season in 14 at-bats. That's just crazy numbers. Another one like Bose that gets pinch hit a lot. He's been in the game the whole time, though.
As Wingate evens up the count there at 1-1. Delivers here as that ball's going to be shot into right field. Right fielder can't get there. Tries to make a play at second, overthrows the second baseman. That ball's going to get into left field now, as the Hurricanes are going to have runners on second and third.
And that's what happens when you try and rush a play. You almost have to be happy with him getting to second, rather than to make that play and take that, that risk.
That's a tough spot there for Henderson out there in right field, where he really did have an opportunity to get Bose going to second there, but just overthrew that ball and pulled it.
Yeah, Bose, a bit of kind of weird base running there where he stopped up like the right fielder was going to catch it. Oof.
As that ball is going to plunk Jordan Roberts, and the Hurricanes are now going to have the bases juiced.
And now's when you start to get worried. They're going to all meet at the mound. You just got to calm your guy down, remind him, like his coach has been reminding him time and time again, to just breathe.
Have a little chat out there. 1 down in the inning.
Again, you're working with a 7-run lead. You're not too concerned, but you need to keep it in check.
As you have a pinch hitter for the Hurricanes, Dylan Verkemen, coming in to bat now. As that's going to be the end of the night there for Hunter Wingate. And, I mean,
what a performance.
What a performance.
Obviously not the way he wanted to end the game for himself. He would have liked to work his way out of that trouble, but I mean, an absolutely, I'm going to call it a veteran performance for him.
Yeah, you'd like to end the game on the mound out there if you go out for the 7th, but you've put your team in a spot to win this game, and you're going to trust your reliever who's coming in the game now to close this one out.
Absolutely, and that reliever looks like it's going to be number 17 out there. That's going to be Nye, so he's going to transition over from the, sorry folks, DH role that he was in.
As he's going to take his warm-up pitches out there on the mound, get all situated for this game to hopefully come in here and close it out for the Tigers.
Yeah, Nye, a guy who you know, doesn't get a lot of plate appearances. Excuse me, doesn't get a lot of time on the bump. He's only a sophomore. He's going to keep developing, and you know, I think a game like this gives them the chance to get him, you know, sort of used to some pressure without it really meaning a whole lot in this game with Palmetto with a comfortable lead.
Yeah, you're going to still put him into a pretty big role out there with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, and you know, you would hate to see this blow up on them.
Still got to execute pitches and get outs.
Absolutely, and it looks like he's got a poppy fastball there, like everybody we've seen so far tonight, regardless of the roster. So he gives a little thumbs up. Looks like he's ready. He doesn't need much warm up. He wants to get right into this.
Yeah, he wants to put this game to an end here.
Absolutely, and frankly, I think most people at this point are ready for that strikeout.
As Dylan Verkaman coming up to bat now, his first at bat of the night.
Verkaman likes to excavate a little. He's going to adjust that batter's box how he likes it.
As Nye gets set on the mound. Delivers to the plate for his first pitch of the night. Down low, ball 1.
You can hear his team hyping him up, right? He's a sophomore. He's not used to starting. He doesn't have the best ERA on the team. He doesn't get many appearances. So, you know, this means a lot. And
Strike
wow.
1 there, and he's going to even the count at 1s.
Mason, that's an elite fastball. That's a quick one.
He's definitely pushing 80s on that one. Delivers to the plate here. It's going to be ball 2.
Looks like it might have been outside.
Nice stepping off the mound there, just recollecting himself, getting set here.
Yeah, that's a good move. No need to get into a stare down.
Set on the mound, delivers to the plate. Strike 2 as he's going to even this count at 2-2.
And you hear that dugout really encouraging him.
See what he comes with here in the 2-2 to the plate. Another foul tip strikeout there.
And they try for the out number 3 at third, but don't quite get it.
That's another great job behind the plate there by JT Wynn. And to hold on to that ball, it's 2 foul tip strikeouts in 1 inning.
Yeah, that looks easy to do. Trust, it is not. You have no clue where that ball is going, so you're really getting lucky to some extent.
As we have Nick Zunica coming into bat now.
Now, Zunica's been an on-base machine so far in this game. Let's see what Nye can do to try and contain him.
Nice set on the mound, delivers to the plate.
It's going to be inside.
Inside, count's going to go 1-0. Nice set to deliver here again.
That's a good pitch.
That's going to miss the zone there too. Count's going to go 2-0.
That's one of those misses where you're okay with, right? It was good break. It was the right way to miss. You didn't miss over the plate. Says he had that inside.
Nice set to deliver here in the 2-0. That ball is going to be shot back to the backstop there by Zunica.
Something really interesting I'm noticing now is the pitching coach out there. Looks like he's got a whistle. He's just going to start He's whistling. He might even be giving him pitch selection. It would make sense for a guy sort of inexperienced on the mound like Nye.
I believe the catcher has an earpiece in.
Oh, does he?
Because that ball is going to be popped in the air, down the left field line, tailing out of play. Even this count at 2-2.
2-2 count. He did it before. Can he do it again?
1 strike away here for the Tigers.
And this would be so big for Nye and so big for Wingate, who absolutely saw them through the other 6 1/3 innings of this game.
Yeah, you strand the leftover runners out there and see what he comes with. That's going to be strike 3 called in the game there.
And Wingate,
what a beautiful fastball there by Nye to putting an end to this game.
And Wingate owes him some Chick-fil-A.
I think so. That's a great job to bail your teammate out of a tough jam there.
And I mean, what a game, Mason. I mean, you just don't see ones like this every once in a while, and we are so fortunate we were out here to record this one. And I want to thank you, Mason, for joining me, of course, and I mean everybody at MSTV who makes this possible. All of our amazing camera people, the amazing people in the van, Carl, of course, the man with the van. So
absolutely.
we're gonna get some high fives going.
As we saw a phenomenal game out here where the Palmetto Tigers defeated the Manatee Hurricanes 8-1 in what was really a thriller of a game.
Yeah, an absolutely amazing game. Really, I mean, truly, I don't know what I could change about that. That was quite the storyline.
Saw a lot of big hits from both sides. Really, really an impressive game.
Absolutely. And you know what I love to see is like the Palmetto coach. We went out, got a chance to talk to him. What a nice guy. Taking the time, shaking everybody's hand, talking with every coach. Absolute gentleman.
Yeah, like we were saying, we thank everybody that's been a part of this broadcast and made today possible for this game and allowed us to commentate what was, like I said, a thriller of a game.
Yeah, couldn't have picked a better one. That's all I can say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please join us next time here on MSTV.
Yeah, thank y'all.